Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I am Nerdarchist Ted, and tonight we are going to play some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Our delightful players here have finally come up with a name. They are the Chaos Crew. This is the RPG Crate game, Season 4, Session number 3, Mournewater Manor. So, before we jump into tonight's game and who our lovely players are and who they're playing, let me throw this out. This is a sponsored game by RPG Crate. If you would like this awesome box that you see, behind me, delivered to your door every month with awesome gaming material, like you'll see me presenting tonight, you can jump down to the link in the description, go get a subscription, use the promo code Nerdarchy RPG Crate to get 10% off your first month's package. You'll get cool things like the new cards that they're putting in each box that have a cool stat block and artwork for that month's, I guess, premiere villain, if you will. I think these things are great. The adventure cards that are in here provide a session to 3, depending upon how much you dive into the material. I streamline it. I pare it down to put in a good 2 to 3 hours for the session that you have here. But believe me, there is so much more that is packed into these adventures. They have cool maps. They have cool NPCs. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing this for a while. Unless this is your first time here, you've probably heard this spiel a number of times. But lastly, down in the description, there's also a link to the RPG Create Patreon. If you're already getting the box and you want more adventure, the new adventure cards now have several spots where you get extra material that is built into that month's adventure that is exclusive to the Patreon members. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Let's meet these wonderful people and who they're playing. And let's start it off with the awesome producer of this, Jake.
Oh, that's me. Hey, internets! I'm Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and that's where you can usually find me is over on the Mini Terrain Domain Twitch channel, where I stream Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition typically on Sundays, Mondays, every other Tuesday, and every Thursday, where you can see V and Ted in our long-running Dawnbringers campaign. And you can find me over on YouTube, doing a lot of things with crafting, reviews, all that kind of stuff. And with the new year, we're on the holiday break right now, but with the new year, we got all kinds of exciting things coming. And the Dawnbringers return on January 9th.
So who are you playing tonight, Jake?
Oh, yeah. I am playing Rerick Greybeard, a turtle barbarian, battle rager, raised since a young turtle by dwarves. I just got me spikes.
And we'll get into that a little bit right when we get the game started. So since you mentioned V, why don't you go off next?
Okay, hi, I'm V Muse. You can find me here on YouTube on my channel, The Crafting Muse, where I do live streams showing you how to make miniatures and make miniature terrain. Jake already told me you can find me on Thursdays, but I'm also over on the Kobold Press Twitch channel every Sunday night. We are taking a holiday break right now, where I am DM for the campaign that's inspired by Tales of the Old Margrave, The Last Heir. So come and join us over there Sunday evenings, starting in the new year at 8. Yeah. And I'm all over the social medias too. And tonight I'm playing Brambleathon. She's a Tabaxi druid, Circle of Wildfire, and she's my pyro kitty, and I love her.
Asa, why don't you go next, sir?
Welcome to the Asa Eats podcast, where we're going to watch Asa eat on a podcast. Oh, wait. That is not what we're doing tonight. Sorry. I'm Asa. I'll be playing Alvareth, and he is a elf. What is he? Cleric. That's right. Elven cleric. And he is, amongst all things, newish to the party. While drinking and running amok at a local tavern, probably in the slaughter pen. Bramble and Omen came across him and decided they liked him for some reason. And yeah, that's really all it comes down to. Is I'm the only one in this party that looks remotely human, humanish. It's great. I love it.
And last but certainly not least, Megan.
Remotely human. Okay, so I am
You have
author Megan
horns.
R. Miller. My books can be found on Amazon.com. The R is very important, or you won't be able to find me, and I will be playing Omen, tiefling paladin of vengeance.
All right. So, when last we left off, you guys had encountered a interesting NPC or interesting, character by the name of the Surgeon. And despite the information that you had gathered, he would rather die than be captured. So he basically forced you guys to end his life. But he had told you about a place called Mournewater Manor, and that is where you could find his master, the one who created the Canis Arachne that you had encountered in Slaughter Pen, these half kobold, half spider monstrosities, and that they were only the beginnings of the works that he had done. Uh, we had shared that there was a little bit of knowledge, or what's the word I'm looking for? There was a little bit of history between the surgeon and Omen. So some things that have not come to be revealed yet. So possibly things will happen there. So in the midst all of these happenings, all of these things, at some point in time, Rarick decides, that the time is right, and he breaks out this salve that the dwarven barbarians who had trained him concocted, and he began, rubbing it all over his shell, into his, scales, flesh, what have you, and almost overnight, these spikes have begun to grow upon his shell, and the grin has not left his face since. But you seem not to be deterred from your mission. So you ask around Slaughter Pen for any information that could be had upon Mournewater Manor. And many tell you it is a dark and dreary place. Many, bid you not to go there, for only death awaits travelers that head in that direction. But when you pry farther, you find out that the manor used to have another name, but no one can recall it in you know the generations that have come and gone since. But at one point in time, a uh, very talented smith lived there, and he seemed to gain skill practically overnight, uh, you know, going leaps and bounds above any competitors, any other smiths in the area. So his works wound up becoming, you know, tales and legends within the area. But as happens with individuals like this and stories like this, dark ties come in. Something dreadful happens, and his his child winds up dying. At the loss of the child, the wife threw herself into the river, and none are quite sure what wound up transpiring with the smith, but he was never seen again after his wife passed. But that is all that you can find, besides the fact that some say the dead walk, some say the spirit of the wife haunts the grounds, looking for her spouse, looking for any to console her. Some say that, dark creatures and other servants of darkness appear out of nowhere That is why they say death greets any who approach Mournewater Manor. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Omen has been in a storm of a mood ever since she heard about this guy. So she's like taken all of this in, but she's been very quiet and hasn't like spoken a whole lot since we started like getting this information. She seems open to helping this ghost, but it's clear she has other priorities.
So, Rarick, Alvarez, Bramble, what are your thoughts, feelings?
As I've said before, wherever you go, I'll go with you. Somebody's got to keep you safe. Because you've only got 2 horns upon your head. But I've got horns all over my shell now. And 3 pointy ones on my chin.
Yes, welcome to the Pointy Club. And I'll like bare my fangs and pop out my claws. It's fun.
I just
Well,
go, "Tsing, tsing, tsing."
I haven't got any pointies of my own, but I'm happy to help out a ghost in need, I guess. What could go wrong?
Well, everything now that you said that.
Famous last words, I hear.
Pretty much.
That's
Well,
why
let's
I'm
hope
here.
not.
So are you supposed
That's
to say
fair.
how pointy you are now, or do you have a point, or what are we supposed to do besides admire them?
Just don't get too close to me in battle.
Let us know when you're backing up, hon.
What do you want me that I should do? Should I make a beeping sound?
Sure, if you can make one.
Beep.
Oh, if I didn't have the.
Beep.
I'll just cast light every time he's backing up.
Yes.
Also, I don't know when Ririk suddenly became Russian-ish or Eastern European, but
Yeah, he was much more Scottish the first
Yeah.
game.
he's not. That's the spikes.
He's got a
Oh, there you go.
continental thing going.
Oh,
I love it.
I thought he was Scottish because that's how a lot of dwarves sound, and you picked up the accent there.
I think it's because I tend to play most of my dwarves as Slavic,
Okay.
not Scottish, and I think I'm just defaulting to what I'm used to.
The more you know, kids.
You do as you like, sir. So, are you deciding to set out and head towards the this Death Awaits Manor?
I'm already walking.
Yeah,
Let's
if
go.
Omen's going, Bramble is right behind.
Now, I will throw this out, but I kind of expect the answer because I know how this party operates. Are you looking to like use any kind of stealth whatsoever and examine the place, or are you just like, all right, I'm beelining in?
Alvarez, save us. You
I'm-
are the
I'm pretty-
only one that has any chance of doing that.
I'm pretty
Or
sure we're
thinking
going
of
left,
it.
right? We're going left.
Okay, no, we're not being stealthy.
All right.
But, I mean,
Do we
What-
need a light?
What is stealth?
It's just it's like there's probably like flames already on my claws.
I'm pretty sure they worship gods that are like thundery and stuff.
We kick in the gates.
Hello.
Knock, knock, boom!
Somebody
Honey,
roll
we're
a
home.
D4 for me, please.
What is it, a D4?
All of us or just one?
Just one of
Three.
Whoever gets to it first.
We'll let
Three.
Megan do those. She's excited to roll her new
She's
physical
got
dice.
real dice
Dice.
tonight. Ah! Yay for real math rocks.
They're my first medal set. I'm very excited.
Oh, I love my medals.
Ooh, I need a metal set. I just made a Warforged in my game because my character died.
Don't get
kind
me
of.
talking about dice. We're gonna get sidetracked.
Right, right.
Metal
What,
dice. That's,
what,
Or
what are
Crest
these
Manor,
dice?
let's go.
They're
So,
lovely little things you can roll around
moving
on the
on
floor and
because
chase.
I'm just as pro to derail that conversation as anyone.
right?
So, as luck would have it, as you begin approaching from the direction that you are heading, there are 2 notable sights as you come upon this vast manor house. It's not even a house. There are numerous buildings behind this, compound wall. There are, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 buildings. Once you've got the ability to see everything, this is a massive compound that once was a prosperous household. Upon your left, there is a stream, and as you're watching, as you're walking and approaching, the stream has a steady pace. After a certain point, you notice, without any visible sign, nothing natural blocking, the stream slows down. There's no bend, there's nothing in the water, but the current is visibly slower. Upon your right, as you look upon this massive wall, you see that there is the remains of a 10th building that has, at some point in time in the distant past, crumbled so much so that it fell over, knocked into the wall, and destroyed that. So there is no barrier to stop you from entering the compound in any way, shape, or form.
I'm making a small face because I have a hypothesis, but it definitely wouldn't stop me, and I'm not sure I would actually say it out loud to the rest of the party.
So are you heading towards the opening, or do you wish to actually confront the gate?
I'm gonna bring this up out of character. So the stream suddenly starts going slower when it crosses the wall.
It is near where the wall is open, but the stream definitively, visually slows down. You can see at that spot it's moving fast, and in that spot it is not.
That means time is not flowing the same way inside the manor that it is outside.
Bramble's just like, nope, this is not natural. This is against my druidic tendencies. Don't like. Hair's fluffed up, and so's, back arched a little bit.
And upon seeing that you've noticed this, I'm going to do an exhale and turn to the rest of the party. So that.
It's water. I don't understand what the problem is.
It is absolutely possible that when we cross into this place, time will be flowing faster out here than it will be inside. We might walk out and find that time has escalated while we've been within.
Well, I mean, I do have 8 more lives. I wouldn't mind extending them.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Look at the water. Dear.
I understand that the water is moving slower.
Right.
I don't understand how this affects us.
All right, you have 2 spinning plates. One plate's in the center. It's going round and round.
You don't have any plates.
Think of it in your head.
It's just water. I'm gonna walk over and poke the water.
What I'm hearing them say is that if we go inside there, we'll be able to live a little bit longer.
So as you approach the water, a faint translucent image of a woman dressed in traveling leathers silently glides towards the water's edge. Everything seems still in her presence. The river, sluggish to begin, crawls tortuously slow. Your breath and the beat of your own heart seems to slow in kind as you watch. The air grows impossibly thick in your lungs, and pain grips your chest as you draw breath. You feel as though you may drown yourself as you see the specter slip below the surface.
I would like to cast Aid on everyone.
Cool.
So y'all get 5 more hit points.
Thank you.
Go for it.
I'm clutching my chest, but not going for the water.
So after a moment that this woman disappears beneath the water, moments pass. Your breath seems to come back. Your heart begins to beat, properly again. And then she appears at the edge of the water, crying, looking in. before she yet again throws herself into the water.
I look at the cleric.
Well, you
Alvarez.
in the retelling of your story, you said something about a lady who killed herself. This is probably her.
Yeah, they did say that.
If we're
Well-
lucky, it's only a replaying of past events. Maybe it's nothing to worry about at all.
So like a stone tape.
Hopefully.
You would know better than the rest of us, I would think, unless. And I look at Bramble.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll a religion check.
Okay.
Ooh. This is gonna
Exactly
be
one for the
wonderful.
afterlife.
2.
2.
Because I'm more of a doctor than a cleric.
All right. So so that means you're not trained and you have not much for intelligence and you rolled a 2?
Exactly.
Boy.
So it could be an undead. It could be arcane. It could just, be a manifestation of, magical energies. You have no clue what this is, and if somebody was offering you gold to offer a concrete opinion, you would say no.
I think, Eric, you should probably go poke it with your spikes. That'll really tell us what it is.
I have to go in there regardless of what we decide. Have to.
Right.
In the water or in there?
In there.
You want,
Uh,
which
Probably
did
shouldn't
you
go in
want
the
me
water at
to?
all.
What did you want me to poke?
Alvarez has
Water?
got food in his mouth at the moment. Apparently always eating something.
Where do you
The-
keep that?
The ghost. Oh, I can't answer that question.
Then I don't want to know. What about a little alley up over the stream?
I think that would be best. And you can like hear the leather of my glove creak and strain from the force of the fist I have made.
Rarick, could you toss her over?
Of
Little alley.
course.
Oop.
That's what you want. I will oblige. If that, I will hold my hand in a way that you can voluntarily, like almost like leaning down to give you that kind of boost.
Mhm.
So rather than so much throw you, more like you use them as a step, and then I would give you the heave as you step into them.
Trebuchet me.
All right. I have literally never had anybody say that to me before.
And you probably never will again. Oh god. It's okay, I've never said that to anyone before.
Why not? Go for it. Are there like if there's like a tree or anything near the wall or anything like that?
Sure.
Could I like scale the wall and jump into the tree and cap myself across?
Sure. So let's have Omen make an athletics check with advantage, and Bramble, you can do an acrobatics check.
Yay! Ooh, okay, that's 15.
13. It's a good thing I had advantage.
So with the with the boost, you're able to get a little bit extra distance than you normally would be able to. And Bramble, you have no problems, using the branches to get over.
Excellent.
So
I'm
what about Alvarez and Rarick? What are you doing?
Look at Rarick and then say, I guess it's about time for you to throw me.
Flying cleric.
I do have like
Forget the
chainmail
flying
armor and a
nun.
shield, so
All right. And I'll do the same thing for Alvarez.
All right, Alvarez, you can do the same thing as Omen did.
All right.
Athletics with advantage.
Cool, I needed that. I got 18. No, I'm sorry, 15.
All right,
Looked at the wrong
you
bonus.
managed to, get safer to the side, and you get safely to the other side. Your landing is a little bit more solid and concrete than the tiefling, but you get it.
Okay.
And what does Rarick do?
What are we jumping again?
Stream.
Oh, the stream?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we jumping it and not walking through?
Because
Because
I don't
we don't
like
know
water.
if the water's cursed.
Now it's more like cats. No water. Nope. There's like a ramshackle building right there, right?
I
There
don't want to
is-
take a bath in water that some lady drowned herself in. Do you?
Yeah, no, that's like bad juju. Can we like take like planks and kind of like plunk them across the way for a little bridge now?
The building was long ago destroyed. If you want to try and see if you can find any planks that have survived the onslaught, you can do an investigate check.
So I just need to
Eventually.
be clear on this. Are you telling Ririk not to go in the water?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Then I'm just going to go across the water. I'm a turtle.
All right.
Title. I like
Once
turtles.
everybody's across, I just assumed they couldn't swim and didn't want to get wet. So once they're across, I'm just going to just start walking across the water or
Right.
through it.
Give me just a random d20 roll for
Oh
me. Tim.
no.
Is this to determine what kind of character I should roll up next?
Yeah, pretty much.
It could be all kinds of things.
It is a natural one,
A
Oh,
natural
no.
one.
which is awesome, right? That's
Oh,
what that's what
totally.
you want to get.
Uh-huh.
It means
Oh.
you're number one. Yeah, it's great.
Your very portal foot bumps into
No.
something weird at the bottom of the riverbank.
Oh god, it's a
There
body,
is something
isn't
at the
it?
bottom of this. It is very weird.
Is that weird with a Y or an EI?
I don't know what either of those things mean.
Just don't think about it. Keep walking.
Is it fate or strange?
Doesn't feel like a rock. You know, you bump into it and it kind of like moves.
How deep
moves
is the
a little
water?
bit. It's deep enough that it comes up to your shoulders.
I'll dip my head in and take a look.
Oh god.
Oh,
I knew that's
You
where
have
you
dark
were
vision, right?
going.
What's that?
You have dark vision.
I knew that's where you were going.
That's good. A good question. I don't think turtles have dark vision.
Mm.
All right, so it is pretty dark in here. As you dip your head down, you know it's a little bit look, it's a little bit feel, but you bumped your foot on what appears to be a rib cage of some humanoid, and as you feel around, you find that there are other bones that you could gather fit the rest of that body.
All right. Yeah, I will resurface and continue walking across to the other side. There was hey, you remember that story about somebody drowning in the river?
yes.
I'm very certain that this is a true story.
Why?
I stepped on their bones.
Oh,
Hissing.
I stepped
No.
on somebody's bones. I don't know whose.
Like backing up, not happy at all. Nope.
So you,
I
you understand
watched-
that by bones, that means they are dead. They cannot hurt you.
I'm like watching Bramble freaking out and just keeping my mouth shut.
I'm not a dog. I don't like bones.
I make a fist again.
I told him not to think about it.
Understand what the problem is. We're all across the river. The bones are at the bottom of the river. We can continue.
Yes, but you touch them, you disturb them. Who's to say what it's going to do now?
I look at my hands for a minute and then I just go,
Because
Good.
that'll work.
it's good.
Oh god.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I suppose.
Wait,
Yes.
what
Or
do
maybe
you,
we'll
do you
burn
mean
that
there was a
bridge when we come
bridge
to
all
it.
along?
Absolutely. We just thought this would be more fun.
You guys are killing me tonight.
This is what happens when I don't play for 2 weeks.
Hashtag chaos crew.
Oh God. Sorry, Ted.
No, there is no apology necessary. All right, so you are all across the river. You have a nice 40-foot section of the wall that is, crumpled and been destroyed. And you have a large number of buildings at your leisure.
Good. So these buildings, can we get like a rough rundown as to like what is available for searching?
So, quick look around. You can see that there is what appears to be the main house itself. It's sizable enough that some would call it a keep. There is a couple towers. There is a stable. Let's see here, and a couple other larger buildings besides that. Really,
Bless you. Bless you again.
A couple other buildings that their immediate use is unclear. When you look around, most of the windows of the main house and the towers look to be bricked over, and it looks to be more of a recent doing. Does not appear as weathered as the rest of the buildings look like.
Question is, what are they keeping out, or what are they trying to keep in?
Makes it sound promising.
Nah, time to explore.
Oh, I'm gonna pull my crossbow off my belt and load a bolt.
I smile a little bit.
Let's make it more fun. Can I produce flame and light the end of the arrow?
If we're going to explore, let's do it in a fun way.
Why not? Add a little light in the process.
All right. So the tip of my arrow my bolt is now on fire? Question mark?
Sure.
I have medicine for that.
It's burning, and that means it's eventually going to burn away. But
this is going to be a bad thing for me.
There are better ways for making a torch.
You have something to set on fire? I'll set it on fire.
I pull out a torch.
I set it on fire.
I want to check out the stable.
All right, so
Just the hunch.
the stable stand dark and empty. A rusted pitchfork rests against the wall, and with tattered straw, woven farmer's hat hung on its handle. But nothing seems to move in here. You don't hear any scurrying of animals. Wind seems calm. It's almost unnerving.
I want to poke around the hay just a little bit. Like I just gonna grab that pitchfork, not with the pointy end, but I'm gonna poke it with the heft.
Okay. So you begin poking around, and the deteriorated hay kind of moves and falls, as per normal, but no creatures scurry out. Nothing seems to be hidden within.
I'll be honest, I didn't expect to find anything, but leave no stone unturned, am I right?
As you move it about, no, secret hatchways or panels seem to open themselves or become visible.
I'll
Just a stable.
I'll go to like push some hay out of the way with my crossbow and then look at the flaming tip and then hoist it over my shoulder and kick some hay with my foot.
I blow out the arrow. No, better yet, like the fingertips and it out.
There's probably a little bit of frustration as you're putting out fire, something you're not really happy with.
Not happy. Waste of flame.
Yeah, I'll drop the crossbow back and ready it, look at the tip and go,
You don't know how to play with this stuff yet, do you?
well, it stopped being lit. What am I supposed to do with it now?
Next time, use it faster before it starts burning your arrows and everything else near you.
Well, what did we have to shoot?
Man, that's a good question, but we always got to be ready for something. Isn't that right, doggy?
I'm
All
just
right.
gonna keep produce flame in my hand going so we have more light source.
I picked the stable. Somebody else
So-
pick a building now.
All right, you guys are making some noise. So,
Mm.
what I'm going to have you do as a group, go ahead and make a stealth check at disadvantage.
Oh, fireball.
I
This is
mean,
going to be fun.
Oh shit. That's not a
8.
number I want to see. 5.
11.
7.
Yeah, I got the highest.
I'm mad my fire went to waste and I'm sulking and growling.
So, did all of you go into the stables or did anyone remain outside?
Absolutely went in the stables.
Yeah, I mean, I told Omen that I was going to protect them, so I'm staying close by.
I think it's safe
I
to say
don't
at
know why I
this
said
point,
that
like,
reluctantly. Let me rephrase that. I told Omen that I would protect them, so I am staying close by.
and Bramble just always follows Omen anyways. So I mean, Rick just he knows to follow the two because that's what they do.
I guess if anyone was going to be a little further off, it would be Alvarez. But still, he's in the stables.
All right, so Alvarez for certain, and maybe even Bramble, you hear something. It does not appear close, but there is something moving within the walls of the compound, and based on the footfalls that you hear, it's kind of like a little bit of a drag thump, and
I can't round any harder than
it
that.
seems if it's footfalls that's making this noise, it seems slow and heavier than what a normal person would do.
Well, upon hearing it, I'll turn and hold my crossbow up, ready to fire, and kind of squint my eyes and look, see what I can see in the dark. Anything
So
coming near?
there are, like I said, a number of buildings here, and you kind of had to cross through a bit of the complex to get to the stables. I mean, you literally cross through maybe 100 to 200 feet of a variety of buildings to get here. You don't see anything, but if you had to hazard a guess, the stables are right next to the main body of the house, and there's another building on the other side of the house. You're guessing it's in that general direction.
Okay. Well, considering I just did like a ticking sound and then gestured in this direction, I was trying to get my dog's attention, but that's what I do to the group. And then
But-
if I get everyone's attention, I'll kind of give the pointing at the building I think I'm
So
hearing the sound from.
You just motioned to Bramble like you're motioning to a dog.
Like I'm motioning, yes.
Oh, she's absolutely turning her back and just kind of like being completely contrary then.
I mean,
Survivability be damned, I'm a cat.
Well, she's hearing it too.
Alvarez doesn't believe it to be the way that you would talk to a dog, but Asa does.
Yeah.
So, how do Omen and Rarick respond to Alvarez pointing?
What are you pointing at?
There's a sound.
I'm gonna
A sound.
walk over kind of quietly and say, there's a sound coming from over there. We're not alone. We probably should be a little more careful.
Think kaboom. Kaboom.
Yes,
Like you
that
caught a mouse a little bit too big and its butt keeps hitting the floor.
Or like
Not
maybe
speaking
something
from
is dead and it's not
experience.
quite moving itself fully. I don't know.
I rest a hand on the hilt of my sword. Whip? I would use a whip. This character is a whip character. I rest a hand on the hilt of my whip. Forgot who I was for a second there. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Many paladins use swords. This one's different. So
Should we go check it out?
I'm gonna get my shield off my back. I think so. And walk in
Ooh.
that direction.
That reminds me, I'm not wielding my shield right now. My AC should be
Yeah.
smaller.
I still have produce flame going.
I
That's
imagine that Bramble, when nothing else is going on,
there's fire.
casts
There's
a flame and she
just-
plays with it.
It's like a quarter in her hand. It's just this constant little spark.
Since I'm holding a torch, I will grab one of my hand axes.
So, Alvarez, I'm gonna make note of the AC difference. So, in order to walk, towards the building that you, pardon me, in order to walk towards the building, you're gonna pass by the front doors of the manor. As you're walking around, despite the fact that no one supposedly is in this area, again, Alvarez and Bramble, you can see what looks to be groups of footprints. Looks to be, three, like a set of three walking together. The one set clearly, no, there's no other word for it. It's a skeletal imprint of feet on the ground. The other set seems to have a mix of booted skeletal and drag marks within it, and they seem the skeletal prints are walking that way. The other ones are walking in the other direction.
Gotcha.
So, do you wish to continue towards the sound, follow the footprints, or investigate the front doors of the house?
I think the first thing Alvarez is going to do is if Bramble's close by, he's going to scratch under her ear for a minute and cast guidance on her.
What was that for?
I just thought you needed a little bit of reassurance. It can be pretty scary with all these skeletons moving around.
Next time ask.
Where's the
Next
fun in
time it's
that?
between the ears, not behind the ears.
I knew that.
Alvarez, what's your dex?
Dex is 14.
Are you trained in stealth?
No.
Okay.
Don't
Omen
know
has
any
her
cleric
back
that
to
is.
both of you and is hiding her smile.
Oh, they're pretty nice.
I need to start rolling animal handling checks when I deal with
With
Bramble?
Bramble, yes.
Since I have like a +5 to that, that'll help me not be an idiot.
Oh God, I love it.
I think Elvareth is learning the of thorns part of Bramble's name.
There's a reason that's there. Oh, that's fair. All right, cool.
I mean, to be fair, he could scratch right behind the ears or between the ears just right, and she'd still attack him
No, she's got a soft spot.
for like 30 seconds.
The sound that Bramble and Alvarez were kind of following stops.
I don't like that.
No, never good.
I'm gonna stretch my shoulders a little bit, drop my crossbow, grab my shield, grab my mace, and start to slam them together and shout, "Bring out your dead!"
I don't try to hide that smile.
So coming out from the, I guess, corner of the household as you're standing, right near the front door. 8-foot tall creature that can only be described as that which looks to be body parts sewn together, but it's got so much mass that it's not just, well, I'll take a piece here, I'll take a piece there. It's got multiple limbs for its upper arm, multiple limbs sewn together to represent its forearm, multiple torsos stacked and built together. Pieces of faces have been put together. This thing is certainly some kind of horror, and
It was a little more dead than I bargained for.
Yeah.
begins moving directly towards you.
Well, hey
Yeah.
there.
So go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, that kind of move towards us. All right.
How
And
many
Bram-
feet
Brambles
does it
is
have?
I
chanting.
nat 20'd. Why did
Brambles
I nat 20 for initiative?
Awesome. Brambles is basically chanting, kill it with fire, kill it with fire, kill it with fire, kill it with fire. And I just got a dirty 20.
I also got a dirt. No, I get nope. You don't add that. Sorry, I got an 18, not a dirty.
Oh,
20.
shoot. That would have been fun.
So nat
Well,
20
here-
becomes what? Oh, you're putting it in there. Sorry. So we got a 21. I got a 20. I heard 18 for Rarick.
And apparently I was a little bit struck by how huge this thing was, because I got an 8.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Oh, no.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Ah!
Bring out your. Put it back. Put it back.
Send it back. Return to sender. No.
Not nice to make the DM laugh while he's trying to write initiative.
Alfred is all
Oh,
prepared for
God.
like hordes of little skeletons and stuff, and I'm like, yep,
No.
I got this. Oh no, no.
You've got
So
like
I
the
don't know
corpse
what to
centipede.
do with that.
Blah.
you can see when this thing walks, like the one leg drags a little bit, and the thud. It's clear that this was the sound that you had heard, and as it is moving in your direction, Omen, what do you do?
I am sure this thing is going to attack us.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
No insight needed. It is moving in your direction.
Well, then I'm gonna use my whip. I get this kind of somber look, and I'm like, all right, we'll end your suffering. Meanwhile, I'm also like eyeing it up. You know what I'm looking for. It does an 18 hit.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay. When you had to check, it worried me a little.
Yeah. I'm like, there was a pause.
No. I hadn't actually looked at the AC score.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be 3 slashing.
3 slashing. Well, it's not terrified of your 3.
That's fine. I'm a tank, not DPS.
Ramble, you are up.
I'm like making that growling distress like really not happy sound as I conjure up my brand new ball to play with, and I'm gonna cast Flaming Sphere on the sucker
Okay.
right next to it. And then does it take the damage now or on its turn?
I can look it up for if you like.
I think it's when it ends its turn, it takes the damage. I'm looking at it right now. Ah.
Flaming Spear. When you move it, you can direct it over barriers. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere makes a dex save, and takes 2d6 fire or half on a success.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and then I think I have a bonus. Let me just check something here.
So are you moving?
Yes. Am I what?
Are you moving it into its path, or are you moving it?
I'm
in
going to
front
have it
of
so
you?
it's sort of in front of, like almost like its own little barrier in front of us, between us and the
Okay.
creature. And then I'm going to bonus action call up Snuff
Okay.
and have Snuff come around. So my lovely little flaming tiger appears. Let me just check something here. I haven't used this in a while. I'm trying to remember. Can I give it its command now with voice, or does that count as my action?
I'm not as familiar with
hang on, hold on.
that one, and I don't have the UA pulled up here.
Yeah, no, I'm just quickly reading through it right now.
Rarick, you are up next if you want to begin moving into place.
As soon as I see this thing, I drop my torch. I grab my other hand axe. Now this is what I'm talking about. And I would like to bonus action rage. Go charging at this thing. And of
All
course, let me bonus rage. I'm going to charge at it. I am going to attack. Going to attack with I guess I can only use one axe because going to be a have an advantage. 19 to hit.
Easily does.
Gonna be a while since that's one with a 6 on the die. That becomes an 11 slashing damage from that axe.
So your axe swings mightily into the creature's thick thigh. It does not appear to leave a mark.
So as I swing the axe, just oh, wait a minute.
Were you able to find out what Snarf does?
Yeah, basically it's I can conjure him up this round, but it's bonus action to command him.
All right. So Rarick moved in on it, so this thing is going to swing at him. It comes in with this, mighty fist, and as this fist rears down on you, you get the sickening impression that either from small humanoids or arms from children is what is made up of this creature's hand.
Wait, like its fingers are children's arms?
Like very small children. Yeah, that's how big this fist is.
So like fingers on its fingers.
That's vile.
So a 22 to hit you, sir.
Yeah, that's going to hit.
So there's going to be 9 points of damage. Bludgeoning. Let's see here. And I got to do this. Okay. Alvarez, you're up.
Did it walk by the sphere or anything like that? Or was it attacked?
Sorry, yeah, at the end of its turn, it's got a dex save.
Yep.
What is your DC?
That's a good question. Hold on. That is a 12.
12. All right. He's going to take half damage.
Half damage on 2d6. So he's going to take. Ooh, thank you, Dawnbringers. That is then going to be half of 9.
All right, so he does not seem to like the fire.
Don't tell that to me.
Well, unfortunately, I have to tell you visually what happens. Whatever nature this thing is, it seems to burn pretty well. Even though he skated out of the way of most of it, he still burned pretty good.
Okay.
Alvarez.
All right. Well, seeing that big thing, Alvarez's gonna go. Oh shit! I'm gonna scramble for my crossbow and how close is it to me?
Did you
I didn't
were you
move.
up at the line? Did you approach? Because I envision this thing right now. It's locked in melee with Rarick.
Yeah,
2
but I
feet.
called it out, so I didn't know how close it was to me in the first place.
I assume you're the kind of person that stays behind your more meatier companions.
Usually, but when I call out an undead thing, I'm expecting to be closer. But I don't know. I didn't know how close it was to it.
I would gather you're like 30, 40 feet away.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I'll end up just stumbling and dropping my shield and mace and whipping at my crossbow and taking a shot almost clumsily, which my dice didn't reflect.
Did you roll well?
I rolled a 19, yeah.
Okay. Well, you solidly hit. And as the arrow thunks in, does not seem to have any impact upon the creature's flesh.
All right. Do you want the damage anyway?
Nope.
Okay. And then with a growl of frustration, I'm just going to throw that weapon to the ground too.
That actually brings us up to Omen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna lash out at it again. I don't have a whole lot else I can do here, so I just not 20 again.
Nice.
So I get to roll 2 d4s.
Hey, it's a thing.
6 damage.
All right. You are seeing just like your companions. Your whip does not seem to be leaving a mark.
Aha. All right, then I'm going to take a step back, look over at Rarick, and I'm gonna be like, let him hit me next.
Wait, what?
Let him hit me.
I was gonna say
Hold
that,
on.
that might like
He has
Something-
to hit me or I can't hellish rebuke.
something broke.
I rolled a 14 on insight, so I'm gonna trust Omen.
All right. So Bramble, you're up.
Okay, so seeing that my flaming sphere had done some damage, but I can't do as much as I want to with it, I am going to shoot firebolt at it.
Okay.
And that is a ranged spell attack. So that is a 15. Does that
Yep.
hit?
That does.
Oh, thank God. And then that's going to be 6 points fire damage that it's going to take on. And then turning to Snarf, I'm going to quip out, send some extra fire its way. And Snarf will then do, theoretically, hopefully, some flame seed on the sucker. And they got 14 to hit.
Hits.
Oh, okay, cool. And then that's going to be 4 points damage, fire damage. Well, 2 to fire damage, 2. What would it be besides fire damage? So yeah, 4 points fire damage.
All right. So you seem to be the only one actually injuring this thing, and it is burning pretty well, and it is not happy.
And she's chanting still, kill it with fire, kill it with fire, kill it with fire.
Rarick, you are up, sir.
Is it getting burned or is it on fire?
It is getting burned.
Okay.
It is not set aflame.
So wanting to help Omen, achieve. They want to achieve. I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to just drop my hand axes.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to grapple it. But if you'll allow, as I grapple it, what I would really like to try to do is less grapple it than throw it into Omen. Rather than let it like attack Omen, I want to hit Omen with the thing.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a grapple throw kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's do
Like a shove, I guess. That could. I don't know.
Let's do an opposed athletics check.
Right.
And then you're going to use it as an improvised weapon to attack Omen? That seems to be what I'm hearing.
I
got a 15.
Looking to see you. Okay, yeah, I do have advantage on this, right?
Yes, while you're raging.
Strength. Okay, good, because that was a 15 on with the advantage. Sorry, that was a 15 on the die, which would make that a
More than 15.
Total of 18.
All right, so she is not trying to dodge, so you're just shoving him in that direction. So go ahead and roll a d4.
I'm rolling a d4.
You're rolling a d4. You're attacking your ally with a monster.
That's a 2 with the strength bonus.
Strength bonus is what?
Oh, crap. Because I'm raging. So the strength bonus is 5.
5. So at
So,
7
yeah,
points
so
of
that's
damage
7.
to Omen.
Okay, now the question is, it says you point your finger and the creature that damaged you is momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. Was I damaged by
You
it?
were damaged by this creature. I'm not
Fire.
going to push it even further.
Okay. So, hellish rebuke. Let's
So
go.
is this a save or just straight damage?
Hold on, I have this open.
Or
Yes, it is a dex save. 13.
Not with those numbers. So it does not save.
Yay! Are they purposely?
It's gonna be 14 fire damage.
14 fire.
Oh,
Yes.
Forget it. Bramble is just like huge Cheshire cat grin. This is perfect.
So, no offense to Bramble, but just as much
She's
fire
not taking
from
any.
all of these sources that you have done, Omen did in one foul swoop.
I can only do that once.
She's thrilled. I want to do that.
So this thing is majorly, scarred up. Several of the stitchings that have built this thing up have unwound or been burned entirely. So body pieces, even though it doesn't, lessen the thing's ability, but like arm pieces and leg pieces from this creature.
Oh God, I'm just imagining like
falling
Oogie
off.
Boogie shedding bugs.
Oh yes,
100%.
I'm the Oogie Boogie
Kind of
man.
along those lines.
Except instead of bugs, it's dropping children off.
Oh God,
I thought the Venom Troll was enough this afternoon.
Just got worse.
Barf.
Oh. There is little chance of this actually doing anything.
Now I have that song in my head.
I put that whole soundtrack on at work today because it made me feel so good.
So the thing lets loose this, insane yell, and it just as you would suspect, when it vocalizes, it is completely alien in nature as it screams out in pain. It flails this massive fist in your direction, Omen, but you are able to easily sidestep it. You don't even need, to bring up your shield. It's just the quick whoosh, as it goes by. It missed by a mile. Alvarez, you're up.
Seeing that I am utterly useless and these people are able to burn this thing, I'm gonna move as close to it as I can. And as I do, electricity is just gonna kind of spark off me as I start to mutter a prayer to my gods. And when I get within 5 feet of the creature, I'm just gonna go ahead and let out a burst of energy that sort of illuminates for a moment,
Okay.
and it must make a 13 con save. And even though this might
does.
catch some of my family, some of my teammates, it won't actually affect them.
Okay.
It passes.
It passed, yes.
Okay. Nothing happens because it is a cantrip.
Okay.
Was that supposed to do something?
It's just supposed to make you feel a little better.
I don't feel any better.
Omen, you're up.
Then I guess it
Okay.
failed.
Well, I can only do that once, and it had to be a reaction, so I'm gonna I don't know, maybe try to trip what's left of it so that other people have a better shot. Maybe is that a thing that's possible?
I mean, you could attempt a opposed athletics roll to shove it over.
Yes. Okay. I gotta pop back over to the screen that has my skills on it.
You want to look
There
at
we
that?
go. I got an 11.
11 total.
Yep.
All right, so you kind of hit into its leg. I don't know whether you were trying with just your whip, whether you were going to bear hug the leg, but whatever it is that you try, it's like you hit a wall. This thing did not move.
Yep.
Is that all you got?
Yep.
Ramble, you're up.
Kill it with fire, kill it with fire. And it's more turned to this giddy dance now. Just jumping around happy, and absolutely going to first do my firebolt, hopefully. And that is a 13 to hit.
13 hits.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not that much fire damage. It's only 2 points fire damage. So let's see what Schnapp, it's your turn, dear. And Schnapp is going to throw fire seeds, and also got a 13. Oh, that's kind of creepy. And this time, ooh, yay, full damage. It's 8 points fire.
8 points of fire.
Yeah. Burn.
So as Snarf hits into this thing, there's a quick eruption of flame, and it seems that something in its interior ignited, and Snarf and whoever else is in proximity gets rained on by these fallen body parts as the thing collapses and is no longer a singular entity. So you've got dozens and dozens of limbs and pieces of body parts strewn about.
No, Brambles is absolutely looking over to Omen and Alvarez. Is there something we can do about this to give it decent burial? This does not seem right.
I'm gonna push the ground with my toe. Is the earth kind of soft, or is it pretty hard through here?
It's not. This is not a well tended or taken care of land. Seems pretty desolate, hard packed earth.
To bury these would probably take hours. We might be better off putting it inside of one of the buildings and setting it alight.
I'm going to check over the remains of this thing first. You guys see me poking through these body parts. I am actually looking for something in particular.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go recover my fallen weapons, muttering about how useless I was.
Omen, you can make an investigation check.
All right.
I'm gonna call off flaming sphere.
18.
18. So you thoroughly look through what's here, you find a few pieces that have similar markings to what you know, but you do not find what you're looking for.
Okay. So like, and I'm just like throwing pieces behind me into the pile where we're gonna be burning this stuff. Like as soon as I know it's not what I'm looking for, I'm done with it.
You're looking for something in particular, Omen, dear?
Yes,
What?
my hand. And I'm like standing here, 2 hands, like they're both in gloves, but
I'm looking at Rourke now.
So to be fair, in the time frame that you've all been together, you have never seen Omen remove her gloves.
there's
Well-
something I should probably tell you.
You're throwing around body parts looking for your hand. I think the answer to that one is yes.
I stand up, and so like I peel the leather glove off of my left hand to reveal that it is not my left hand at all. Blanched white bones are held together by magic and silver wire and stretch out in fingers that appear a bit too long for lack of flesh. The bones are large enough to fill that glove like there was a full hand in there, and they clearly are not her bones.
Upon seeing this, Alvarez's gonna walk over and just take her bone hand in his and just kind of study it.
And she allows this.
This is fascinating. How are you keeping it all together?
I'm leaning
Well-
over. Go ahead.
I'm not. I paid somebody to put it together for me.
Oh. I mean, I learned first how to heal the body before I learned how to follow any sort of religion. So the fact that you can make a hand out of something like this is pretty impressive.
Well, it was already a hand, it just wasn't mine. But I believe that the man here was the one that took my hands. The one we fought before in the cornfield. That
surgeon.
fellow, I recognized his face from that night.
Why would he want your hand?
It's magic.
It's always magic.
There's a
Magic hands. Huh.
kind of
Is
a
it-
birthmark that's been passed down through my family.
Oh dear God. So we have to look at this closely, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh dear God.
I know how you feel about bones.
It just makes me a little squeamish, dear, but for your sake, we'll look. And
I put
Oh.
the glove back on.
I don't notice any of this because I've been making a couple trips back and forth to the stable, grabbing armfuls of hay to pile the body parts around so we can set a pyre.
Well, in that case, I will, because there's a reason I'm telling you guys this. I'll wait and let Rarick get a look as well so that it doesn't shock you later.
So, Omen, you are a redskin tiefling, correct?
Yes.
So it was easy to look through the creature. That there was nothing here that had a red tint to their skin. It was mostly pale flesh, but there were as you explain about the sigil or the birthmark, you were able to find like 2 body parts that had not the exact same mark, but a birthmark that, as was explained to you during your torturous process, that those who have been gifted with certain markings had power, and those things could be taken, even if forcibly so. And you're able to pull out 2 of these that the birthmark is, there, and power remains in the vessel, as the creature who did this, that was his term, the vessel.
So, as I finish bringing the hay, and I don't think I even say anything, I just kind of look at Bramble and point, like, it's ready. It is ready for you to set
Got
fire
it.
to it.
Thank you.
I imagine, Omen, you said you're just kind of standing there with your bone hand out.
Yep.
How are you holding it? Like, are you holding it up to show
Like
me?
I just
Or?
like kind of like this, except a little bit lower. I'm just doing this so you can see it on my screen.
Oh.
Bramble
okay.
would be like
'Cause
pointing.
if you
too.
were holding it out, I was totally going to high five you. Rarick is just like,
Oh God.
good job, buddy. That was really cool what you did with the fire. Is there something wrong with your hand?
Well, just that it's not mine, and that's what we came here to look for.
Yes.
Okay, that's not normal for your kind of people to have a hand like that.
No.
I don't think that'd be normal for your kind of people.
Well, of course it would not be normal for a portal to have a hand of bone. But I don't know, she's got bones coming out of her head.
We actually have a level of normal established. Or is it a sliding scale?
With us,
Bramble, I'm
it's
going to
clearly
be
a sliding
honest.
scale.
A lot of the times when you say things like this, Bramble, I have no idea what you are talking about.
That's fine. As long as I get to play with fire.
So, we are looking for a hand that goes where your bones are.
Yes.
I'm
It's
sorry.
It has a
Okay.
birthmark on it. Looks like a 7-pointed star.
At an 18 on insight, so Rarick is just taking whatever you say, Omen, as a matter of fact.
And she really appreciates that, and it like shows on her face.
All right. So we didn't find the hand, correct?
Thankfully.
Okay. But we have a pile of body parts
Yeah,
and stuff
I'm-
on hay.
Like putting them into the hay as I like figure that they're not mine. Oh, Asa pointed out, because he just watched the first session a couple of days ago. She is like ash gray, not red, but that's still
Oh,
not
that's
human
right.
colored.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay.
As stated, you do not find your hand. You do not find anything that seems aside from the norm for standard human flesh. You know, the races that have off-color skin are considered rare, but the things that are here, it could have come from humans, elves, dwarves,
Halflings.
halflings, gnomes, more of your surface races that have that standard flesh tone, but nothing that easily stands out as different,
Yeah.
and nothing that resembles your flesh tone.
Mhm.
And Bramble would have already started like getting the hay at least smoldering and starting to catch fire as the body parts are collecting, knowing that it would need to start roaring before anything really starts happening. And Snarf would be helping on the other side, sort of adding their own flame abilities too.
Well,
Has
Well,
Omen
between the amount of-
been? Oh, good.
between the amount of hay that's brought out and the aged, very flammable body parts that you have put in, it burns quite easily. The smell is nauseating,
Yeah.
but you're able to alight without a problem.
This is probably the first time Bramble is looking at a fire and her face is conflicted.
So, her eyes glisten as her nose cringes. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Was Omen keeping, like, setting aside the hands that she'd found with the marks on them, or was she setting them to be burned as well?
Actually, if they're well enough preserved, she probably would set them aside on the off chance we found who they belong to.
Well, they are, fairly marred from stitches, from all of the burning, and it looks like it has been quite some time since the one you would gather bicep and the other one a thigh. Chances of something surviving that process and
Okay.
getting it reattached, probably not likely. If you wish to carry around a bicep, upper arm and an entire person's thigh,
Well, we'll go ahead and burn them. I'm not liking what this says about my own chances of getting my hands back, and it shows on my face.
Before they get burned, I'm just gonna say, could you leave those there for a second?
All right.
I'm gonna pull out a piece of paper and kind of scratch down as best I can the
birthmarks.
the birthmarks on there.
Are any of you trained in Arcana?
Yes.
All right, check.
It is the only knowledge skill I'm trained in. Oh, medicine as well. Well, medicine's not intellect, but yeah.
So wait, all the body parts have marks on them?
No, just 2.
No, just okay.
So what do you got?
Oh, okay. Need to make a roll. Gotcha.
Yeah.
13.
13. So the 1, if you kind of turn it just so, you would say that would be, the arcane symbol for power.
Okay.
The other one, you're not sure.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep that to myself.
Okay.
Not for any particular reason, just because I don't feel like it's relevant.
All right. So, eventually, the pile is fully lit, and you guys can stand as close or as far back as you need.
No,
Does anyone offer up any prayer for the fallen pieces?
I have no prayer, but I have a promise that I will make this right by them.
Alfred is just gonna remain reverently silent.
Omen, make a charisma roll.
$14.
14. So as you make this promise, whether it be by happenstance or something else, that is when the flame catches on to one of these birthmarks, and as the flame begins to alight around it, you watch as the flame kind of surrounds and doesn't immediately burn the birthmark. And then the normal orangish yellow flame that is blazing in just the outline of that mark, it turns blue in that perfect sigil, and you just see the sigil, the birthmark, remove from the limb as the blue energy flies up into the air.
Yeah, that seems right. I just kind of like nod and prepare for what comes next.
All right. So do you guys, stay here until the fire burns down? Do you, move on?
I'm ready to move on whenever Omen is.
Same.
Yeah.
And Schnarf is still out, as long as has it been an hour yet or no?
Probably not. I mean, if you sit and watch all of this burn down and to nothing, you probably can, it'll probably take an hour. This is a sizable amount of body parts.
So pretty much when Bramble's ready to go, I'm ready to go, since I know she likes to watch the fire.
This is the fire I don't want to watch, believe it or not. Like once the blue flame happens, I'm kind of like, okay, let's go in the house or something, because
All right.
So it's probably only been 10-15 minutes since you summoned Snarf.
Just so I know, yeah, just for summoning purposes. Okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Right.
So is it Snarf or Schnarf?
Schnarf.
Snarf.
All right.
Schnarf. Thundercats, come on!
I know. I just didn't know whether the sh was part of it or not.
It has
That
to
was
be. Schnarf. Schnarf. We have not been programmed at all. Yeah, and they're actually kind of walking between myself and Omen, sort of not body checking, but rubbing against both of us here and there.
Okay. All right, so you guys head to the front door.
Sure. Do we knock or just let ourselves in?
I mean, we are civilized people.
We are?
I mean, I'm a civilized person.
Am I on
Compromise, knock, and don't take no for an answer.
I like that one.
Let's kick the door in.
Eric, your turn.
Gladly. And I walk up, and I'm going to, well, I'd kick the door in. So I'm going to kick the door in.
I love it.
Alright.
Counts as a knock.
So
Makes a knocking sound.
no check needed. You're able to kick the door through without a problem. The door opens into one large dark chamber. Perhaps once this was a traditional manor house, but it has been gutted and hollowed out, leaving what feels like an echo-filled, shadowy cavern. The roof above is held aloft by 4 massive columns running the length of the chamber. Bookcases and work tables line the walls. Though it is clear that work is done here, the atmosphere seems cold, foreboding, and unwelcoming. As you enter the room, you hear the shuffle of movement in the shadows as something has shied away from the light pouring in through the door.
Well, this is an interesting interior decorator.
Ollie, ollie, oxen free.
Yeah, Alvarez is just searching for whatever was moving. So,
I have produced flame going, so we have some more light.
I have my battle axe.
I guess I would be slowly reloading my crossbow.
So who steps inside?
Well,
With a question like that.
So as you look around, it is clear that on those work tables and things there is
Oh
an assortment of workstations. Whether it be alchemical in nature, whether it be medicinal in nature,
no.
a lot happens in this room, and
Are
it's
there body parts? That's all I want to know.
no.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
It is a lot to take in. There is a lot going on in this small space, and as I said, living does not get done here. This is not a space of comfort. Anything that one would feel homey, if it used to be here, it has been removed. There are no chairs. There are no places to relax. And while from the outside, this is a home, you can see the structure of, okay, well, that could have been a sitting room, and this could have been, the entryway, and in that direction, it looks like there's, this, it's not there. The stairs have been entirely removed. In this section that you see here, what once looked to be a staircase leading upstairs has been torn down, and in the back you can see the pieces just shoved against the back wall. But this 2-story building, the second story has been removed, and you've got these massive columns that are holding up the roof. So for whatever reason, this place needed space.
for whatever reason.
Or
Something
Considering-
big.
Yeah. Considering the thing we face down outside, I don't
I don't like it.
that.
Don't like this at all. Nope. Not happy. Not happy.
We can burn the whole thing down when we're done.
Can I set the roof on fire?
Yes.
Yes.
The roof?
The roof is on fire.
Okay. I'm just peering out for that thing. I got a perception check at 13. Do I see any more things moving away from light?
You said perception 13?
Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of be edging my way in, keeping behind Ririk.
I'm walking right to the middle, thumping my axe on the floor.
Dunk,
Thum,
dunk, dunk.
thum, thum.
Yeah, we don't have thunk drag, we just have thunk, 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 thunk. You said there's no visible body parts or anything like that. It's just like alchemy
Now,
and
so there are work tables. Work tables and bookcases line the walls and encircle the columns in the main chamber of the manor house. They are scattered with books, bottles, boxes, trinkets, weights, measures. There is quite a lot here. If you were to attempt to sift through all of it, it would take a long time with the amount of stuff that's here.
Are there any books on the tables?
There are books.
Could I look at one of the tables that has books on it
Sure.
to see if I can sort of scope down what's going on?
So you're just trying to gather like what the purpose of that area is for?
Yeah, see if I can start like piecemealing 2 and 2 together type of thing. So they were making X, Y,
Roll a
Z.
d6.
D6?
Yep.
Okay, I'm using a Dawnbringer's.
Yeah. While she's doing that, can
4.
I do something as well?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I wanted to do an Arcana check. Well, that doesn't matter what I need to do, but I wanted to look through like a quick gaze through what's there to see anything that I could find that references magic symbols.
Okay.
It's the magic symbol
are
of
you
power is what I know about. So
Are you looking specifically for books, or are you looking just in general?
just in general.
So you said you rolled a 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you find a book that gets into medicine, like specifically anatomy and
Okay.
preservation of things, and it describes the process of pickling jars and
God.
going into vast detail.
And I actually took proficiency in medicine, so I comprehend this too. That's the worst part.
So there is a lot here. It's up to you if you wish to keep the couple of tones found on that.
I'll at least let them know. It looks like someone was trying to preserve and pickle and mummify stuff.
That's not the main amount of information that's in the book, but that looks to be what has spent the most amount of time in use based on how the page is.
Okay. At least they paid attention to this part. And I'm actually holding up the book, and it's kind of like between two, like I don't even want to touch it. I have 2 claws, and it's pinchered between the 2 of them.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
So you can write down two books on medicine, and
Okay.
let me know what you guys wind up doing with that. So Alvarez,
Probably
looking
giving them to Alvarez when I'm done flipping through them, honestly.
I'm trained in medicine.
You look through and you're trying to find things specifically on arcane sigils.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an investigation check, please.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna roll a different one then.
I
I had an Arcana check that I had rolled, but I'm not going to use that. That's a 10. I wish I would have used my other roll. Quite a bit higher.
I mean, nothing on specifically arcane sigils, comes to light. I mean, there's a little bit of magic, like generalities on arcane, but nothing that gets to that kind of specificity.
Okay.
Omen, Rerick, what are you doing as they examine? Because this takes a little bit of time.
Wherever Omen is looking, any ambient light that may spill through, you just see Rerick looming over her, just keeping watch. I have absolutely no interest in books. If anything, I want to smash all these bottles with my axe, but I'm not going to. So I'm just gonna follow Omen.
Okay.
Yeah, just moving around, getting a look around, seeing if I can find anything moving in here.
All right. Give me a perception check with advantage.
I just rolled an 18 twice in a row.
Nice.
Your dice are hot tonight.
They
That's
are.
lovely.
So that's dirty 20.
So as you look around, you happen to walk by a table, and whether it's the light bouncing off of your shield or Rerik's axe, you catch at least two pair of eyes underneath one of the tables, and I don't mean like loose eyes on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Something is crouched underneath the table.
So I crouch too to get to eye level with whatever this thing or these things are. My tail is like swishing behind me, and I'm like, "Hi there."
How close do you get?
I'm gonna leave like 3 feet of distance between me and the edge of the table.
I get like these kind of close.
We'll go with 5 feet to make the math easier.
All right.
I love it.
So you are quite surprised as a dagger flashes out, and you manage to get your face out of the way, but it scores into your shoulder for 6 points of damage.
Oh,
Mhm.
As this
Question.
yes, sir.
Since I'm standing watch over her, can I look to see if I see this? Because I have the danger sense.
You're gonna say danger zone.
The danger zone.
Hey, we found Rerik's theme song.
Yeah, there's Rerik's song.
Because if this is something that I could see coming, I would try to throw Omen out of the way, like just grab her shoulder and throw her out of the way.
You were observing, so you would have seen her acknowledge something underneath the table, and her moving down into a position to acknowledge it. If you want to take the hit for her, I will allow that.
Because conversely, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the table and go after whatever's under it.
That's fine.
He's
I'll
flipping
give
tables.
Jake. I'll give you the call.
Well, I was gonna say, I think the way you described the situation, it makes more sense that I wouldn't be able to interpose myself in such a way. I saw Omen react to something. I didn't see what Omen saw. So seeing Omen get hit, then I will immediately move in, and I'm gonna take the flip the table action.
Okay.
You're
Ooh,
New
that's a
Jersey
very
housewife
specific
it.
I don't remember seeing that one in the rules. Can you explain that action to me?
I think it's in the
I
interact
think
with objects aggressively table.
it's pretty obvious. Flip the table action flips the table.
only triggerable while raged.
It's better when enraged. I love it.
So all right. So I mean, you take 6 points of slashing damage as the dagger flashes into your shoulder, and then if everybody wants to roll initiative, we can do it.
Ah! Would Snarf still be around after all of this?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh,
so
this
three of us
dice
together.
is wonderfully mediocre.
13.
So
I got a 13 too.
I also got a 12.
I
Oh,
got
hold on.
I got a
Hold
plus
on.
2 dex.
I totally lied. I got a 13 as well.
Shut up! Okay, Omen has to go because this would be cool.
all right. So is everybody 13 or below?
Yes.
Oh no, that's not good.
I'm just asking. Sorry. So we have three 13s and a 12.
Yes.
I have a 1+1 dex.
I have a +2.
I have a plus 2. And I have a fire tiger.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right,
Okay.
so-
you wanna-
You guys can either roll off rock paper scissors, however you want to do it.
Rochambeau. You
Okay.
ready? You
Yep.
call it.
Hey, don't forget
Okay.
about fire.
So this is fire. You know it's gonna. All right, rock scissors.
Are you ready?
Rock scissors
Rock,
paper.
paper.
Shoot.
I got it.
Both got scissors.
Both guys.
Ah. All
One
right.
time.
One more time.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Rock,
Rock,
scissors,
paper,
paper.
All
Paper
right,
covers
so,
rock.
All right, so
Yeah.
Bramble and then Alvarez.
Okay, cool.
So,
I like the idea of Alvarez and Bramble actually shooting Rochambeau in the middle of this to see who's going to act first.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, wait.
No, we have to do this first. This is fun.
so
That seems like a very Gimli and Legolas thing.
all right. So so as this limb reaches out and slashes at Omen, you see these weird yellowish blue eyes lurking underneath the table, and clearly they have been spotted. Two rush out at Omen from the table that she's looking at. Two more come out to Rarick from his side. So four creatures in total move in. So I'm going to make 2 attacks on each of you.
Oh,
Did you say what these creatures were?
So
Yeah, no.
similar in design to what you had seen with the creature outside, where things have been stitched together. These things are long and gangly, and it seems an extra joint has been sewn in to these twisted creatures. Their flesh is pale and gaunt, almost skeletally thin. Very little in the way of emotion seems to be on their face. One of them, you see this bizarre key on a chain, just hanging, just bouncing against his chest as he moves. In one hand, they have a club that seems to be made entirely of bone from a larger creature, and on the other hand, a vicious curved dagger. As they stand up, and they're not as tall as the thing that was outside, but their long limbs seem to be able to reach pretty far. So that is 1 hit on Omen. And 1 hit on Rarick.
I can think.
So you guys each take 3 points of damage. If it matters, it's slashing to Omen and bludgeoning to Rarick. So we're about 25 minutes into your summon, Bramble.
Okay.
You're keeping track, so you're up.
Okay, then I am going to firebolt the one that attacked Omen, and Snarf is going to fire seed the one that hit Rarick.
Okay.
So I will go first, and I'm going to try and get these little buggers. Let's see. All right. Ooh! I got a 20. Okay, so that is then... Is it full damage on the first one and then roll the second one?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that is going to be 19 fire.
How much?
19. Well, that's a crit.
Oh.
So that's the one that was attacking Omen, and then Snarf is going to go and get the one that was going after Rarick. And that's going to be a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Okay, and that's 5 fire points.
All right.
And you said there were 8 minutes left? Is that what you said?
No, it's a total of 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay, sorry.
So you've got,
I got 8.
got 35 left.
35. Okay. I think I added 35 together in my head.
You added 3 and 5.
It's cool.
Hey.
That's how math works.
Hey, why not?
You said one of them moved up to each of us, right?
No, 2 moved into Omen and 2 moved into Rarick.
And how close are they to those 4 together?
I mean, 2 of them are, pretty close, but these things have long limbs, so they didn't need to be like right up next to them. So
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot the closest one with my crossbow.
okay, are you shooting at any of the damaged ones, any of the undamaged ones?
I'm gonna go for something that's already been hit a bit.
All right, so there's
That probably seems.
one on each Omen and Rarick who's been injured.
I'll aim for the one closest to Omen that's damaged. That
Okay.
sounds good.
He is the more heavily damaged.
All right, boom. Hey, it did okay. That is a 20 in total. Dirty 20.
That hits.
Yeah. All right. And that is 10 damage.
Ooh, nice. Use
And
that
then with that, I'm going to like kind of grab like kind of lower my crossbow and grab my necklace that I decided just now has a holy symbol on it and start walking in that direction.
Sure.
So yeah. That is
All
my
right.
turn.
Rarick.
All right. So first of all, I have a question. When you have uneven numbers, so I took 9 damage in that last fight from the thing, but I forgot that I was raging, so that should have been halved.
That's 4.
So so it would be 4.
Yep.
Oh.
Anytime you take half damage, you round down. At least that's the way I do it.
All right. So, well, I've got my great axe in hand, and I've got 2 of these things on me.
Indeed, sir. Yes.
Are they both within 5 feet of me?
They are not.
They're not. Okay. I'm going to move right up on the one that is undamaged.
Okay.
And I am going to as I step towards it, I'm going to just do that thing where I just open my mouth wide and just in its face as I rage.
Okay.
And attack recklessly, which is another. I mean, that'll probably still hit because while raging, that is going to be. That is going to be a 15 to hit.
It does.
So that'll be 12 points of slashing damage from my great axe.
You bite into this, skeletally, thin creature's torso, and like it just comes into its midsection, and you basically carve off a handful of rib bones, but the thing is still standing.
Won't be for long. But that's all I can do right now.
Alvarez, you were walking in that direction as Ririk, swung this thing. The creature is not bleeding.
Oh.
Omen, you're up.
Okay. So I'm going to bonus action cast Divine Favor because I forgot I had spells.
Oh yeah, those things.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 does hit.
Okay, good. That's going to be 4 slashing damage and 4 radiant.
And is that to the damaged one or undamaged one?
That's going to be to the damaged one.
All right. So as the radiant energy hits it, the light kind of comes down in a column, and you've witnessed divine magic before. You've been trained to when you took your oath to take this power, and almost more the power that's unleashed than the actual damage, but you just see the thing slump to the ground, unmoving, like a marionette whose strings have been cut.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah, I look as surprised as the rest of you.
So was that your bonus action and action, or just your bonus action?
That was my bonus action and action.
All right. So
I'm sorry. I had to try so hard not to laugh because Raven just made a joke about my theme song being "How much is that doggy in the opening?"
I know. I was trying to not look at that.
I would have thought you're a paladin with a whip. I would have thought your theme song would be obvious.
Whip it.
Whip it good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
There's
that
too
second part is
much.
appropriate.
There's way too much.
You don't know if the second part is appropriate.
That is what I said, sir.
Omen said to me earlier to trebuchet me, so I think we're
Yeah.
okay.
Wow. So of the remaining one on you, Omen, the dagger hits you for 4 points of damage.
Oh, God.
Man, these things are good at hitting things.
Yeah.
I just happen to be rolling pretty darn well. I just dropped 4 dice on Rarick.
Oh, no.
And the lowest number is a 13. So your
Hats
AC
off.
is 17, which
No,
means
we only say that when he goes into a shell.
they all hit.
Oh, no.
That's all right. I'm raging.
Rawr.
All right, so you'll get half damage on this, but
This is that scene as the camera whips very fast around me as they all strike me, and I'm just. Ah!
all right. So I will half it for you to not have to worry about your math. You don't care whether it's bludgeoning or piercing, right?
Nope.
All right, so there's a total of 10 points of damage after it's halved and rounded down and all of that jazz. But 4 attacks, land on you. These, thick, meaty bone clubs and vicious curved daggers all kind of sink in from these long, spindly limbs. And they just, treat your shell like a drum. And Bramble, you're up.
All right.
Oh,
Nerdarchy.
real quick, is your spike supposed to be doing anything to them?
Is my what?
No. Rarick.
Yeah.
No, it's not a passive. Looks like only I can either bonus action make an attack with my spikes,
Right.
or it does additional damage while grappling.
Okay.
There's a lot of places they can hit me that's not gonna get spiked.
Right. I just know that in editions past, armor spikes did auto damage back or what have
Yes.
you. And
Yeah.
I am not-
No.
I am not
5th
as
edition
familiar
does
with-
not have that.
I am not as familiar with the Battle Rager, even though I am playing a Dwarven Barbarian in your game.
Thorgarn. Yay! And I'm the only one who says it right.
I'm not even playing a dwarf, so
that is true, mate. But Bramble, you are up. What are you doing?
All right. Rarick, how are you doing there, sweetie?
I'm still standing
But for how long is the question?
until I'm not standing anymore.
Jesus Christ, you're stubborn.
Apparently, when I'm raging, the dwarven Scottish comes out.
I was gonna say we're all over the place.
So he's Russian when he's
He's Russian when he's calm.
That's canon now. When he's calm, he's Eastern European, and when he's raging, he goes dwarven.
Please.
That makes a lot of sense.
I like that.
I expect you to hold true to that now.
That's canon I can get behind. All right. So I'm going after the whichever one is looking the most closest to not being what it is.
So there is one on Omen who is undamaged. There is the one that you attacked on Rarick who's been damaged that you attacked with Snarf. And then there is the one that's heavily damaged that was hit by the axe from Rarick.
Okay, then I'm attacking the one on Omen, and Snarf is attacking the one that's mostly damaged.
Okay.
So the one going on Omen, and that is going to be a 17.
Hits.
5 points fire. And then the one that's mostly damaged, that's the one that Schnapp's going after. And that one is, does an 11 hit?
11 does not.
Bugger!
I do believe that is the first actual miss for the night, though.
I know, that's not good.
So far, the armor classes have been pretty light. So,
What did you roll?
11. 11 T.
Okay.
11.
is that all you got?
Yeah.
Alvarez, you're up.
All right. I would like to position myself so that as many of them are within 5 feet of me as possible.
So you could get 2 of them if you want to get up close to the ones that are fighting Rarick.
Yeah, don't
that'll-
look at me.
That'll do. I'm gonna get up to the 2 of them, and again, this sort of shimmer of electricity is coming off of me, and as I get closer, it pulsates with light. They need to make their 13 con saves. And as that happens, like a little bit of Rivik will feel a little bit of static electricity kind of shoot into him. And
All right, you said 11. All right, 1 pass, 1 fail.
okay. Need my dice now. It's the first time I've actually had to roll them. Rarick, you're going to heal 7 hit points, and the other guy is
Nice.
going to take 6 radiant damage. Yeah.
This is a cantrip that does this?
Oh, no. I mixed word of radiance and healing word.
Okay, so you did 2 of them. Okay.
I did 2 actions, yeah, or an action and a bonus action.
Very cool.
But I thought it would be fitting if they thematically went together.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it. I mean, yeah.
That's all.
All right. After Alvarez is Rarick.
All right. If the one I attacked is still standing, I'm going after it still.
Yep, he's still pretty good. I mean, you carved a couple rib bones off, but he doesn't seem worse for
I'm
wear.
taking that great axe, swinging it around, and bringing it down on top of his head for a 16 to hit.
Yep.
And the damage is going to be, yes, a 10.
10 total.
10 total. If he's still standing,
He is indeed. You bring your axe and you come down into his clavicle, and it just splits open.
I slide my hands while it's stuck in his clavicle. I slide my hands up towards the head of the axe and use his weight to pull in toward him in bonus action, make an attack with my armor spikes.
Sure. So the thing that's a little disturbing is that when you bring your axe into its clavicle, you sink a good, 6 inches, and there is no reaction on this thing's face. You might not notice, but the party does.
No,
And
to be fair, I wouldn't react either in my current state. So
that's what I'm saying,
so the spike. Oh, that's not going to work. The spike attack is a 9.
9 is in the miss, sir.
Wait, don't we get inspiration in the beginning?
Oh,
You do.
you know what? We do.
Just saying.
So that 9 will instead be a 13.
13 will hit.
Hey!
Awesome. And I rolled a max damage, so that'll be oh wait, is that a is I'm raging, so that actually makes it a rolling a D4, then that means I got 9 points of piercing damage with my shell.
So you bring your axe into this thing's clavicle, use that to hook him in, and you bring the spikes that are sticking up from your shell by your shoulders right into it. One sinks heavily into the creature's shoulder. Another one's scratches a wide gash across the thing's forehead. It is looking beat. It's missing ribs. It's got an axe buried into it. There's no emotional response, and this thing is still on its feet.
Oh dear God.
Omen, you're up.
Okay. So I've still got divine favor going on. I'm gonna. Oh God. Oh God, I missed my thing.
And you guys all do remember that, Alvarez did cast 8 on you from the beginning, though that's still there.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, let's not miss the dice tray this time. 17.
17 hits.
All right, that's gonna be 6 slashing and 6. No, not 6 because the +2 goes with the slashing. 4 radiant.
So a total of,
D4s.
and that's the same one that you, that's the one that's on you.
Yes.
All right. Is that all you got?
Yes.
All right. So we are back to the top of the order. And the one that is on you, it misses with the dagger. It appears that was a complete and utter feint. And as you dodge out of the way, the long limb of the club catches you clear across the temple. And it hits pretty hard for a total of 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And are you attacking recklessly, Rarick?
Yeah, I am. Well, actually, no, I didn't attack recklessly that one because I
Okay.
used my inspiration to re-roll that.
So I do not roll them all with advantage, so that's good for you. One club manages to find its way through your defenses. Maybe it's the fact that the creature's long arms could basically wrap around you as you are almost bear hugging this thing at this point in time, and it just brings its club just square down on the top of your noggin for after halving 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
I don't even acknowledge it.
Of course you don't. And then we are back to Bramble.
All right. I don't like seeing my companions getting hurt so much. And after seeing what Alvarez pulled, she's also got this little competitive streak going. So I'm gonna do move up to Omen and cast Cure Wounds to help bring, because I'm assuming is it Omen who's like on, how are you both doing? Let's put it that way.
I have 4 hit points, but if
Yeah,
I can get to my turn, then I can give myself lay on hands, so I'm like a bit less concerned.
Okay, and then Jake, how are you looking?
I'm doing great.
Stop it.
Are you
I'm
lying?
not looking for the ego answer.
No,
You look like
I
you're
mean,
lying.
I'm more than half hit points, and I'm at this rate, I'm like 6 times as healthy as Omen. So
Okay, well in that case, yes, please.
Okay, so then yeah, I'll move up to Omen because I want to keep my bonus action going. I'll move up to Omen and cast Cure Wounds, which is going to be oh, nice. I got full on that one. So you got 10 points.
Woo.
HP back, and then I'll use bonus action with Schnarf, and Schnarf is going to go after the one whoever is looking the most gnarly.
Well, that's clearly the one that is, almost wrestling with Rarick. It's
Okay, cool. So Schnarf goes bounding over to Rarick and goes to do Fire Seed against that guy, and gets, does a 12 hit?
12 does not.
No. Well, tries to hit then, but doesn't.
that's
That's all I've got.
Fire Kitty. I'll take care of it.
After Bramble is Alvarez.
All right. Well, there's only one that I can catch now, huh? In my little 5-foot radius.
No, you can still get 2.
Oh, okay. No, we'll get 2 again.
There's 3 of them, 2 that are on Rarick and 1 that's on Omen. So the same 2 you hit last time, you can still hit this time.
I'm gonna do it. A round went by and I just took it for granted that Rarick killed one of them. So all right. I'm gonna go ahead.
So saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
So Constitution, I believe.
Yep, 13.
13. All right, 1 pass, 1 fail, but I called it beforehand. So how much damage do you do?
This time it is 2 radiant. That dice is weird.
Literally exactly what you needed. So the radiant energy hits the one that Rarick is, grappling with, and just like the one that Omen had finished off, it's like a marionette who had its strings cut, and it just slumps to the ground, unmoving. Its extra jointed limbs, falling and almost like unraveling as it hits the ground. Quite bizarre.
Hmm.
Is that all you got?
How bizarre. How is Omen doing on health? We doing a little better now?
Omen is feeling much better, yes.
All right.
Omen is no longer bloodied.
Could either her or Rarick use another D4 of healing?
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Okay. Well,
I'm
a
not
little
gonna say
bit of that.
yes.
A little bit of that. That electricity will leach over to Omen, and she will heal 6 hit points.
Woo.
All right, Rarick.
All right, there's still the one I was wrestled with just dropped in front of me, but there's still
Yeah, so like it falls out. Your axe kind of is now in the air with this thing no longer there as a target. You're like, where'd it go? But you've got another one right there that you could lay into if you so desire.
yeah. I'm going to do that. Attacking recklessly is a 21 to hit.
Yep.
And that's going to do 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And
So you carve a section out of this thing's rib cage.
and then there's a 16 to hit with the bonus action armor spike
All right.
for 5, 6, 7, 8 points of slashing or piercing.
So you lay into that one, and just as thickly your spikes, pierce through this thing's, emaciated torso, and it's got puncture holes that it doesn't really seem to care all that much about. No blood comes gushing out like you're used to. As a battle rager, that's one of those things that your dwarven brethren, say like that's how you know you're winning when you're coated in blood, and you're not feeling that. You're not seeing that. So it's kind of a little unsettling that your opponents are not dropping as easily. They're not reacting to the pain that you're used to dishing out. Omen, you're up.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless there's another Omen in the party.
No, I didn't hear whether you actually like said my name because it kind of sounded like you were talking about crackers.
Wait, what?
I don't know. My ears did something weird.
Okay, just like I made 35 into 8, so we're good.
Does a 12 hit?
No.
Okay. Then no. I lash my whip. It makes a cracking sound. It hits nothing.
Woof.
That's all I got.
All right. That brings it to me.
Oh no. Make it stop. Kidding.
So the tactic with this one that's fighting you, Omen, you didn't seem to learn last round as the dagger comes in for a feint and you dodge right into the club again.
Yep.
But you managed to deflect, some of it with your shield, and the pain rings up your arm for 3 points of damage. Dagger. Oh. All right, so the dagger comes in at you, Rarick, and it hits hard. I'm rolling extra dice hard. So that is 3 points of piercing, and the club manages to connect solidly as well for 4 points of bludgeoning. So after all of the rounding, that's 4, 3, so 7 points of damage total.
7 total.
7 total after your halving.
All right.
Bramble,
Well,
you're up.
I am covered in blood. It's my own blood. But
Okay, so I'll look over to Rarick and sort of do like that disdainful that some cats will do. However, I will use my bonus action to do healing word on you, Jake. And then use my own action. I'll do 1d4 plus my spell casting. Okay, so then it's gonna be 5 HP back. And then I'm gonna do my firebolt on whatever ugly is closest to me.
you said that was 5?
Yeah.
It's your call. There's one on Omen and one on Rarick, and if you had to guess, the one that's on Rarick is taking more damage.
Okay, then I guess I'll use that one just because like I just healed him. I'm not gonna heal him again. And that's gonna be 15 to hit.
Does.
And that's 7 fire.
And it's the first time you're seeing it happen with fire, but this one slumps to the ground just like the other two, completely unmoving.
Perfect. And then Snarf will just sort of like bat it around a little bit. He can't do anything because he's a bonus action command. So yeah, just kind of like.
Alvarez, you're up.
All right. The light and electricity around Alvarez is going to sort of fade, and his eyes are going to kind of come to a little more, and he's going to look around at what are the mutilated corpses.
Well, there's still one left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then seeing there's still one going after Omen, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna grab a bolt and just start to load my crossbow, and I think that's my action, if I remember right.
I don't play a lot with crossbows, so.
Yeah, I think that it takes an action to load them. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
No.
Sure.
Is it a bonus action to load?
No. The load property is part of the action.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will shoot it as well then.
Cool.
And that is an 18. So adding my bonus is a 23.
Hits.
All right. If I can find a D8, geez. There we go. That is going to be 9 damage. No,
Ooh.
8 damage, sorry.
Sizable. Still standing. When the arrow goes through the thing's torso and out the other side. You got a nice,
Missing Omen?
You get it doesn't hit any of your allies.
You're right.
But you now have a little scope, little window through.
Yeah. I'll start shaking a little bit and wipe my brow.
Rarick, you're up, sir.
All right. And I have nothing to do but attack it.
All right, so you move across the room a little bit.
Yeah, almost pushing off with my axe and just lunging at this thing, swinging all my might recklessly into it. I like attack. Wow. That was a 4 or a 19. I think I'll take the 19.
Are you sure? 4 is a nice number.
The 19 will actually turn into a 24 to hit.
That easily does.
I only rolled a 1 damage die. So that is, with the bonuses, only going to be a 6 slashing from the great axe. But
yeah, bonus action.
I'm going to bonus action for 13.
13 hits.
And then that'll be 2 plus 7 piercing from the shell.
You did more damage with your shell
than I did with the axe.
So you get a glancing blow, almost like ringing off the top of this thing's skull. It tried to duck under your swing and didn't quite get out of the way. And your follow through as your axe comes around is to just barrel in with your right shoulder, and as the spikes across the top of your shell, pierce into its eye, its mouth, into its torso, the thing just slumps, and it is now lying atop you, completely and utterly unmoving. And even though you are quite tall, when this thing slumps, its arms, fall to the ground, and you're now kind of wearing this thing like a bizarre, cloak.
Was that the last one?
Indeed, it was, sir.
So, yeah, there'd be a moment as I'm swinging around, like spinning left and right with my axe, looking for something else to hit. As I'm turning, this thing stuck to me. Its limbs are going.
Are you having fun or do you want help?
Is it dead?
Looks it.
And then I imagine being this big burly turtle that it's kind of hard to get quite to it to get it off. Ugh. Somebody get this. Ugh.
Can Schnarf like just sort of jump up and kind of peel it off for him?
Of course.
Okay, so Schnarf just kind of and will peel off the marionette style dead body from your back.
Takes a little bit of work. Snarf kind of bats at the side of Rarik's head for a moment. Not sure why.
Thanks, Fire Kitty.
That was a really, really good cat noise.
I have many.
Alvareth like kind of crouches down a little bit. I just, oh god, there are more of these things. I thought that the big one would have been the only one. Did any of you realize they weren't bleeding? They weren't making any reference or
They're not.
any emotions at all?
They're not natural, that's for sure. Whatever they are, they're made and they're created, and there's no lifeblood flowing through them. It's disgusting.
Well, I get making undead, but this is
This is
a
even
different
undead.
thing.
It's
Don't like that they
Constructed.
don't bleed.
I don't like that they don't react. Like they don't have any sense of pain.
there's nothing to them. It's just the bodies pinned together, acting on command or orders. Who knows?
You are
Is there
saying
some-
somebody else is controlling these things.
And someone has to pull the strings for them to act, it seems, once they get deactivated.
I
We
dig up
need-
some of the books about
Just
this
I have
stuff here.
there's this one that has something about pickling in it.
So we need
I
to find
will-
the puppet master.
I will remind you, the first one that had stood up and attacked Omen along
Oh, the
Oh, yes,
actually
the
silver
key.
chain. There's a bronze and steel key.
yeah. It's like a skeleton type key because it was like bone looking, right?
It's bronze and steel,
Bronze and steel.
but
Okay.
it's very bizarre looking. Like it doesn't seem to have the same number of teeth that you're seeing. Seems to be really, really well made. It's got a little bit of tarnish on it as it's been around for a while.
These things
Lovely.
have daggers. Is that what they're using?
Yeah, daggers and bone clubs.
Okay. I'm gonna bend down and try to wrestle a dagger out of their fingers.
So the daggers have like very, very wide blades that kind of curve up to a point. Pretty
Alright.
pretty vicious.
I'm gonna
But there's
Go
still
ahead
of them
and-
there.
collect a couple of them, maybe two.
Sure.
A little disgusted. I'll take them and just kind of drop them in a pouch and
They're they're incredibly well made. Do you examine them, or do you just like, I think they look cool and I'm just gonna take them?
I'll examine one of them. Yeah.
So you look at it, and you do see a it looks like I said, it looks to be really well made. Do you have proficiency with smithing tools?
No.
All right, so you can't really inspect the quality, but the edges don't show any marring. There's no no damage from any of the fight, and there does seem to be some kind of sigil or maker's mark upon the bottom of the pommel.
Okay. Do I recognize it at all?
You do not.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pouch those, like I said, and clean them later.
Thinking through the bodies, you know.
Oh, I'd be like ripping the key off the neck of the dead the thing. So yank the key.
Sure. So like there's nothing here that seems to belong to you, Omen.
All right.
So you found some definitive undead monstrosities here.
I think while Omen's looking around, any of these creatures' hands, I would pick up. Is this one yours?
Nope.
Is this one yours?
It would be this color.
I am colorblind. Is this one yours? I'm just kidding.
Oh dear
Okay.
God.
So I'm gonna
Just
like hold my hand up to the hand you're holding because mine is like very dark, like a dark gray dark.
Oh God.
Like you can tell like the darkness, the saturation, right?
I'm just kidding about colorblind.
Depends.
Correct. And
While
I'm
they're
just smiling at you.
while they're doing that, is there anything that looks like it would have a lock that the key would fit into?
Nothing here. Like you take a quick look around. There's no chest. There's no doors. There's literally nothing off of this room that looks like it would need it.
Okay.
But you do know that there are a variety of buildings that you have yet to examine.
I tuck it in my pocket. How are we on time then? Is it pretty much, I think it's like close to time for Schnarf at this point, right?
No. I mean, we were 25 minutes going into the battle. So, I mean,
Okay.
if you're, if you spend time looking around, I mean, you're at a half hour.
Okay. So
I
then
mean, unless you want to take, a more extensive search of the room and pick up more things.
Okay.
Like I said, you could spend hours here looking through boxes and things should you so desire. But
You wouldn't get 15 minutes before Ririk would start
Yeah,
complaining.
he's already like jonesing to go. Right.
I have no interest in all these books.
Of course not.
Where is the armory? That would make me interested.
You want more weapons?
I want... You know what I really want?
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
What I really want... I would love something that I could do with fire like you. Don't like that these things don't die from my blades so easily.
Eric, what do you know of Smithen?
Who's that?
Smithen?
I don't know anybody named Smithin.
Would you recognize this symbol?
Actually, hold on a second. I better check something before I
I was
say.
gonna say you're a dwarf.
No, I am a
I
Tork.
think it's.
Well,
I think
you were
we're
raised by dwarves.
butting accents is what's happening,
Listen,
and that's probably the.
I was the cook for the dwarves. Did not forge weapons. They would not teach me their forging ways. But they would eat my soup.
I bet that key goes to one of the buildings outside.
You're probably right. I don't see anything in here.
Well,
I'll start walking out.
And I follow.
Yep.
Like much in the same fashion that Bramble follows me when I start walking off, like exactly echo of that.
I'm still like hoisting this knife towards Rarick, seeing if he recognizes the symbol on it.
I'm trained in history. Can I make a check on that, Ted?
You certainly can.
And I'm going to use my metal copper die for that, because that seems appropriate. That's a 13.
It's a 13. You've seen the symbol before. A sword came across the path of one of your dwarven friends growing up, and you recall the conversation. The person didn't know exactly who the smith was, but you know how dwarves are when it comes to smithing, and that dwarves are superior, and that everybody else makes junk. It's just kind of how they view things. And your dwarven friends couldn't find something bad to say about the sword. And it's got a like a multi-layered again, maker's mark. You've got like a bronze circle with an M on it, but then like loosely in the background that you kind of have to study to see it. There's an anvil there, and the fact that what was believed to be a human crafted sword, the dwarves couldn't find a complaint about, means it was made by a good smith. That's as much as you got.
I don't know the name of the maker of this blade, but I know that even the dwarves hold the smith of these weapons that bear these marks in high regard. That is saying a lot. What you have found, Elvreth, this is valuable.
Well, that's a good thing I got two of them.
Did we happen to find a forge on the grounds?
You have
That's a
not.
good question.
Oh, on the grounds.
Yeah.
I heard that is on the ground. What is that, a forge down here?
Whoops.
I almost
So-
tripped
Dropped
over
it.
this forge.
There is indeed a workstation near the stables. The Spartan building boasts little adornment. The broken window reveals the forge and bellows within. The wall, recently built and seemingly of different craftsmanship than the rest, encloses the structure and precludes any chance of operating the forge. It's like it's been many years since the forge has been operated, and that would coincide with what that it has been generations of humans that have come and gone in the pit, slaughter pit. They don't even remember the name of the smith who was here. So the amount of dust and decay or in the forge holds true to that. But looking inside, there's not even tools left. But the bigger equipment is there. Should you want to do something with it?
Anything with a key
Nope,
access?
not here.
Anything that would lead us to believe that these knives could have been forged here?
I mean, the information that you've gathered is that a smith of some renown called this place home.
Oh, right,
And,
right.
You
I
know,
forgot about that.
the
And it has the M with the thing on it.
yes, and
And it's-
so if you found two blades here that all have the same mark, you didn't
Yeah.
examine the other two to know whether they match or not. I mean, during the battle, they all seem to look the same. So it's highly possible that they were all of the same make, and they were left here from the smith or claimed by whoever moved in.
Gotcha.
As you examine the grounds, you do know that there are a variety of buildings, most of which are in greater decay. The only one that seems to hold any newish lock or a lock that is upkept is the main tower at the back of the complex. And So if you're looking for a lock that holds that you have the key to, that is most likely your best course of action.
Well, do we give it a try?
Let's do it.
Right. I unlock the door.
All right. To the tower you go. So as you click, you feel just a little bit of energy, like nothing damaging, but you feel energy kind of like dance up your arm as you click it. The double doors here used to be interior doors leading in and were not made to withstand long-term weather conditions. Consequently, they are showing considerable wear from exposure to the elements. As you step in, newer masonry work and mismatched bricks clearly mark where a former entryway and foyer for the central tower have been bricked up and closed off from the inside.
So there's a door, but then there's
There's a
a
section.
blockade.
The as you step into the tower, there's like the main tower that's in front of you, but there's two towers that were off to either side, and the one to the left is the one that collapsed over and fell and broke the wall. And where
Okay.
that connection point was, it's bricked up because
Of the opening.
that other tower is no longer there.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at that tower and say, well, that goes the only reasonable option.
But I mean, to the main tower, it's open. You're
Right, but it's the one at the left.
Yeah, we can't go left anymore.
well, if you go left and it just goes around.
Turn around.
Wait a
Right.
minute. Look, I turn around and face the way we came from. Look, if we go this way, it's now on the left.
I like the way you think.
I'll turn and look at Rarick and say, you're a genius.
Indeed.
That may be the first time anybody has ever said that to me.
And it may also be the last. No, I'm kidding. Omen didn't say that. Let's go.
Bram will just sort of pat the shell, which I guess would size-wise would be like almost waist
guess-
level.
And we're going to our new left.
Yep.
First one on the left is the last one on the right.
So as you go into the tower and begin examining things, you find a small antechamber. Two cages are framed by iron bars only a few inches apart and stretch from floor to ceiling. The southern cage appears to be a repository for all the bones discarded during the master's vile experiments. They lie in a jumble heap of animal, humanoid, and even human bones, many twisted and broken, but
I
all
flex my fist again.
kind of saved. You're unsure as to why it's in a cage, but there you go.
I'm hissing. Not liking that. Seeing that, she's like and fluffing out.
No, I'm certainly not the biggest fan of that either.
So as you react, bones like shake and rattle a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not happening. Not liking that.
Do you continue to examine, or do you move on?
It's in a cage.
Yeah. I like to do like that very slinky, slow walk by it. Like sidestep almost.
Do not let the zombie celery out of your sight.
So the stairs lead down into a study. It's a place for visitors to rest and take a light meal or engage in pleasant conversation.
What?
Many of the furnishings have been destroyed, now hacked apart or torn with claws. Someone or something spent their rage in this place.
Look, I get using your claws to get some frustration out, but someone has issues.
So you see that there's a a worn cabinet, its door kind of like hanging off. There's tattered chairs. There's a variety of broken things here, but you know, not much else. The table, the legs have been broken and scattered across the room. It's now nothing more than a ramp.
Give Rarick a sideways glance and say, I don't remember coming in here before. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to go with that. I don't remember coming in here. Sorry,
Remember him being
I
in
was
here?
really tongue-tied. I got really tongue-tied for a minute. I'm sorry. I got to that voice and then I just lost it all. That's what I say to Rarick. That's probably what he hears.
I just look around at the damage and just grunt.
You guys investigate or move on?
I don't want to go back upstairs and deal with the clickety clackety in the cage.
Well, there is still further on, but as I said, there was a closet that has a door hanging off of it.
There is a closet. Okay. Kitty's gonna look in the closet.
So there's a variety of old weather-beaten cloaks that these two seem to have been raked and slashed. But make an investigation check for me.
Okay. It's not my strongest suit. It's 7.
7. So sometimes investigation in my games, it's not about whether you find something or not. It's just the duration, kind of scenario. So you spend time, feeling and examining the cloaks to see, whether or not they could be salvaged, whether they're worthwhile. But alas, the cloth begins to. I use the term melt, but that's not exactly accurate. But it kind of decays and disintegrates as you just kind of feel it. Cloth after so long just becomes dust upon examination, but you feel compelled to kind of feel the walls and check the floor, and a piece of several of the cloaks had fallen down, and there is a dagger at the bottom of the cabinet, the closet, if you will, and it's not made in the same style as the two daggers that Alvarez took. But when you pick it up, it feels like really light. It does have that same mark on it, but it has streaks of black, swirled through it. I don't know if you're familiar with. Now I'm drawing a blank on forging terminology. But anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know when I'm thinking properly. But it's swirled, and there's black through it. And it seems
are you talking
like
about
Damascus
like Damascus?
steel?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But as opposed to the actual, like, just the twisting of the metal, black is worn through it. So either it was forged with two different types of steel, or something else happened to make that happen.
Okay.
But thank you both for reminding me. I watched so much of that, Forged in Fire show, and the fact that I couldn't remember the word Damascus bothered me.
It's totally okay. So I have this dagger in hand. I'll turn around to those. I found something in the closet.
Was it Alvarez?
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it'd come out of the closet.
I'm gonna come over and get a look.
Looks like something you might enjoy using. And I flash the dagger so it shows the different colorations and also the mark.
I'm gonna pull out my dagger and What compare?
So as you move the dagger in the light, everywhere where normally you would expect the light to gleam off of the metal, everywhere that has the black streaks through it, the light doesn't reflect.
Oh,
It kind of like absorbs it in a little bit.
I'll even like use some produce flame to see if the fire flame does the same thing.
All right,
More
again, when the light hits the black part of the
Ooh.
blade, it does not glint.
What do you say? You want?
No, I can hold on to it.
Not Omen. You have
I-
two already.
I
Oh,
hold up my whip and I'm like, I usually use this, but well, yeah, I could give it a shot. And
Might-
so, like, yeah, I'll pick it up and give it a little practice jab.
Nice. It feels, really light in the hands.
So, be honest with me. Do you guys think there's anything here that isn't undead?
probably
Considering what's
not.
up there.
Yeah. Well,
Well, we fought a big creature made with babies and children's limbs, and then we go in there and they're these gaunt, lanky, marionette type body piece things, and now we
now
walk
it doesn't
by.
matter what it is.
Yeah, it's just this collection of bones up in a cage that can't be good.
Needs taken care of.
Well, it's locked up as far as we know.
Yeah.
Chance
I'll be
it-
honest. That's not what I was hoping to find here.
you
Well,
want
again,
mine?
it doesn't end in this room. There's still
Yeah, there's
further,
more.
All right.
further hallway below.
Onward in that case.
You'll
Okay.
keep looking. We'll find what you are looking for.
As you move on to the next room, the walls are lined with bookshelves containing books written in many different languages. Most are cloth bound and beginning to mold. The table is covered with candles of different colors, most burned low. The roof is leaked, and black mold covers the walls. So much so that as you enter the room, like you can smell the decay. And it is not something that someone living would ever choose to reside in. Just the smell is that off-putting. But the hallway continues.
Oh, good. More books.
Blood more.
Do you stop and examine the books, or do you move on?
No, I do not stop and examine the books.
Does it look like it's been a while since they've been touched?
It does, yes.
All right. I mean, I might give a cursory glance at some of the titles, but aside from that, unless something really jumps out at me, I wasn't planning on it.
Variety of subjects, and many of them are written in, strange languages. So I would say at least half of them are books that you might recognize the script, but you can't read what it says.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
guessing you're not a linguist, right?
no, my character's not great into the knowledge arts at all.
So as you
Did we all dump int?
I think we did, or at least load.
I mean, I got zeros.
I mean, I dumped strength, but I don't have great int.
I didn't dump
Yeah,
in, but I'm
I'm not.
Wait,
content.
I'm a plus
pretty
one. Don't
close.
tell I'm a plus one. Don't tell me I'm the smartest one here.
You are.
You are the smartest person
Am
here.
I really the smartest
Yes.
one here? That is very not typical for the barbarian. Oh my gosh. Now I kind of want to take all my attribute bumps into intelligence.
Just
I love this game that much more now. The barbarian is the most intelligent.
My new goal is to become the credible Hulk.
I think we should have debates now over who's the
I'm-
smartest.
I am seeing a new path for this game. All right. So as as you stop and Alvarez begins just kind of casually looking, a raspy voice echoes down the hallway.
Oh no.
Well, isn't it about time we get this over with?
Isn't it?
This is better than books.
Crossbows knocked. Ready to go.
Yep. Produce flames in hand.
A humanoid stands at the end of the hallway. Looks to be a bedroom behind him. Pale greenish energy seems to dance around his hands. Bones seem to be knitted together to form the skeletal armor that comes up to a skull of some larger creature on his shoulder. Spikes are adorned from shaped bone. The bluish flesh, gaunt, pulled tight against his muscles, standing out upon his one hand that is definitively of a different shade than his others. A blue star rests, glows upon his left hand. Green energy that seems to, come up from his hands is mirrored by the orbs that are inset into his eyes. And he stands
Okay.
confidently as he looks upon you.
So, you know how once upon a time when you wanted to challenge someone, you'd throw down the gauntlet? I am taking my left glove off and throwing it at his feet.
Oh, I want art.
So, slightly modified, but there's your dude.
Mm-hmm. I say nothing. I just challenge him that way. And hold my whip in my skeleton hand.
Then so be it. And he unleashes attack against you. That is a 19 to hit.
Oh dear God.
Oh God.
So I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Of course you
And you really want to make this.
Did you walk
Oh, God,
Did you walk right up to him?
Yes.
Mm.
The
No.
paladins are. I am not a smart paladin, okay?
Well, with our
Dude, we've already had
barbarian
this
is
talk.
the intelligent one.
18.
All right, good. So you take a little bit of damage, but all right.
But my
So that
skin
is,
doesn't melt off, and
well,
that's a good thing.
Hey, it's a party now.
there were bad things that could happen, but you take 1d3 cold damage.
Okay. Just let me know how much that is.
Just 3 cold.
Oh, 3. Okay. You said 1d3. I was like,
I'm sorry. I thought I said you take 3 damage. And you're getting support from the chat. Justin says, kick his you know what, Omen.
You can say ass.
It's true. Kyle calls you out for having a
If he
power
still
move.
has
I was
one.
just reading what he wrote. You know.
I know, I'm just letting him know. You can say it. We're adults here, darling. Ah.
So let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Yay!
Martha Fokker.
Oh,
9.
14.
5.
9, 5,
14.
14.
Oh shit! Sorry, I was in the middle of typing a sentence.
What did you just do?
Just don't even. Don't even.
Who rolled the 14?
I did.
So is that a 6 from? And yet again, I managed to win initiative. That's crazy.
Shut up.
So you took the glove off, right?
Mm.
And you said it's your left hand that has it?
Yes.
So the creature before you looks down at your hand and smiles. And he begins gesturing at your hand.
I swear to God, if I end up choking myself because of this guy.
And he just he does this, and the energy that's swirling around his hand flies down towards your hand. The bones begin to just like twist and move, and it's like reshaping itself, trying to get to your actual flesh as it begins, rending into it. But it's not the actual bone that's causing the damage, but the energy that's swirling around. So you take 5 points of force damage, and you essentially, at least for the time being, you do not have a second hand.
I don't have what?
You can't use a two-handed object if you.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Oh,
So-
second hand.
Yes.
So do I have to drop like either the whip or the shield then?
Well, the shield I would imagine is strapped to your arm.
It is. Okay,
So,
so can I get my whip out of my left hand in that case?
Oh, are you left-handed?
Yes.
Okay, so you could drop your shield and then pick up the whip and fight with it right-handed. Yes, but
Okay, and that's gonna drop my AC, but I'm cool with that. Let's go.
Yep.
So
So
16 right now on the AC.
okay, but Bramble,
Mm.
you're second place again. So
All right.
you're up first. And Kitty is still here. So
Okay, Bramble is not happy. I don't like seeing my friend being handled in such a way. So out comes Scorching Ray.
okay,
So that's 3, and I have to roll for each one, and each one gets 2d6 fire damage if it hits. Oh, please, Timora. Ooh, okay. I like these. So I have a 19, I have a 16, and then I have a 13.
the 13 is going to miss.
Okay, still.
If you have not used your inspiration, you could choose.
I'm gonna use it.
Normally, I tell you to call.
Oh,
it
even
before
better.
I tell
Yes.
you, but
Yeah, I'm good with that because now that's a dirty 21. That's a 21.
all right,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So then this is getting 6d6 fire damage, and I'm using my Dawnbringer dice just because I can. Ooh, and hi, Dawnbringers. So let's see here. That is going to be making me happy. Okay, so that is 12 plus 10, 22, 23 fire damage.
20.
And then Snarf is going to jump in and with a roar shoot out some flame seeds, hopefully, and dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
And then that's going to be 4 points more of fire damage.
All right, 27 points of damage to Bramble. That's pretty hot.
Well, she is. That's all I got.
After Bramble is Omen.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna bonus action Divine Favor once again, and then my whip is 16 to hit.
16 hits.
All right, 3 slashing, 5 radiant.
So 5 radiant. The slashing does not seem to affect this guy.
Yeah, I didn't figure it would. That's why I cast Divine Favor again.
I hate when simple math just is like, huh?
Huh?
Sitting here looking at numbers, I'm like, I can't add. Why? Hell.
Or you just add when you shouldn't.
Oh, wait a minute. I lied. It's 3 radiant. I added my +2 like an idiot.
All right, is that all I got, Omen?
Yep, that's it.
Rarick, you're up.
I don't even say anything. It's just a roar as I go charging across the room at this guy, going into a rage, leaping through the air, and I'm going to attempt to grapple him.
Sure.
He needs a hug.
So that would be. Oh, good. That is 23.
All right, so you have him grappled.
He will also take, if he takes it, I don't think he will, but automatically I deal 3 piercing damage when I grapple.
All right. The grapple does not the piercing does not seem to bother him, but you take 3 points of cold damage.
I take 3 points of cold?
Indeed, so yes.
Okay. So for the time being, I'm just grappling a hold of him, and I'm wrapping my arms around and just doing that, just locking tight and trying to hold on to him.
Okay.
That's-
All right, Alvarez, you're up.
Well, I had a plan.
And then it went away.
Just do
having
it.
having my crossbow leveled, looking for a shot, and then having Rarick just charge forward to grab him. I'm gonna curse and chuck my crossbow unceremoniously. Maybe it breaks, maybe it does not. And then I'm just gonna march, just kind of storm towards the creature while pulling out my shield again, and just shout to it and say, maybe it's time that you ran, or maybe surrendered. And I'd like it to do a DC 13 Wisdom save to turn undead.
Really got anywhere to go.
It's true, but if he has to spend all his time getting away from me, he can't do much attacking.
Yeah, he is not turned.
Okay, I had a feeling that would happen. And seeing that failure, I'm just gonna mutter a string of curses as I get closer, and then Shield of Faith on Omen. So you have a bonus to your AC.
I appreciate that greatly. How much is the bonus?
+2.
Woo! I'm back up to 18.
Yeah, I figured it would make up for the shield.
I don't know how long I can hold him.
That's all I got.
That's all right. We'll make this quick.
Use the fire and the light. Dummies. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
I kind of love this a little too much.
So you're like bear hugging this guy, right? Rick?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm turtle hugging him.
Well,
Turtle hugs.
but like face to face, or did you come in from the side?
Well, I mean, I charged right at him, so I imagine,
Right,
yeah,
right.
we're probably face to face.
So his, yellowy green orbs that are his eyes. He looks down straight at you, smiles. Huh?
I said, thank God you said eyes.
He just smiles and disappears out of your arms, and appears next to Alvarez.
Does that mean Omen's not near him anymore? I'm just trying to figure out where it is.
What was that?
Does that mean Omen's not like right in front of him either?
Correct.
Okay.
So he appears next to Alvarez, and he
Alright.
coming after you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw
Okay.
with 2 points of cold damage. And
That save is 11.
11. So you feel your body begin to lock up.
Okay. I would also like him in turn to make a. Well, was that an attack that he hit me with? No,
Spell.
it's a hit with attack. It's not a. Okay. Damn it. I can't use my Wrath of Storms for a thing that I got to save against. That's annoying. So I take 3 cold damage.
2 cold
and-
damage, and you are paralyzed.
Yeah.
You can make a save at the end of your turn.
That sucks. Okay.
Bramble.
Okay. I want to hang on to a couple spell slots. So I'm just going to use my Firebolt again to attack. And then Snarf will go. So that's going to be 19 to hit.
So as you unleash your firebolt, knowing that it did a considerable amount of damage last turn, he pulls out his hand and he feels the energy of your spell.
Crud buckets, he's got that. Well, what about Snarf? He can still do his thing, right?
Snarf can still move across the room and attack, yes.
Okay. Well, he has distance on these, I believe.
Well.
So he's gonna throw out his fire seeds, which
Okay.
Or flame seeds, sorry, flame seeds. Yeah, that's a 30-foot range.
Sure.
And that's going to be a mathing. Hold on, 14 to hit.
14 misses.
No! Crud. All right. So, sort of like we both sort of hiss and spit in displeasure.
So he kind of dances to the side and it just barely misses Alvarez.
Not good. All right, that's all I got.
Omen.
All right, so first I drop my whip and draw my new dagger.
Okay.
Then I rolled a 4 at first, and I was like, no, so I used my inspiration and nat 20'd instead. So that's going to be 7 slashing, 7 radiant.
7 slashing, 7 radiant. The dagger is a +1 dagger. Did you count that?
I did not.
All right, so it's 8 damage, so 15 total.
Not bad for fighting with my offhand.
Wow, this is one of the things 5th edition doesn't have, an offhand rule like earlier.
No, I know, I like that though. Like I'm flavoring this in my head as I am just so stubbornly set on murdering this person that it doesn't matter that I'm using the wrong hand.
And having a little bit of combat experience, I know how difficult it is to use your offhand. So the fact that they don't clunky up the rules with that stuff is kind of nice. But if you want to homebrew that kind of stuff, there is definitely room for it. After Omen is Rarick.
What exactly is this dude doing?
So he kind of teleported out of your grasp and moved over and unleashed some spell energy at your cleric friend, and then dodged out of the way of the fire seeds and kind of stole the magic from your cat druid.
All right.
I mean, he seems like he's been handling you guys pretty confidently.
I am going to go charging at where he is now.
Sure.
With my great axe in hand as I draw it off from its where I keep it on my shell.
Sure.
Of course, I'm going recklessly.
Yep.
But and you can rule this however you want to rule this, but I'm going to do everything in my power to try to cut off this dude's arm.
Sure.
So I'm attacking recklessly, so that's going to be with advantage. I rolled a 16 and a 17. So that is a 22 hit.
You connect with his arm, but the axe blade kind of glances off the arm. Give me a perception check.
$11.
And I can't give you that one. You got anything else there, Eric?
I mean, not that it's gonna matter, but I'm just gonna. Whoops! I'm gonna try to ram into him with my bonus action armor spike attack for a 21.
So you hit and takes 6 points of cold damage, but do nothing to him.
I imagine as I jam my shoulder into him, expecting to hurt him, there's just this where I hit him. I just imagine this almost like frost coating the spikes and part of my shell and giving me a little bit of frost. But you said 6?
6, yes, sir.
One of the spikes breaks off.
I like the idea of it, frosting over, but you don't have to break your shell. I understand,
No, but the frost tendrils would definitely be making their way up my skin as well. Because, ow! Why won't he die?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
I'm already dead.
Die again! I got nothing left other than yelling at this guy.
Alvarez, Constitution saving throw for me, please.
All right. Let's see if I can do better than what I did last time. Nope. I'm going to inspiration that.
Sure.
That's better. 16.
16. You shake off, this feeling.
Yeah.
That is the end of your turn. So
That was my whole turn.
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who do I feel like messing up?
It always makes the players nervous when the DM does that.
Pretty solid power move.
Unfortunately, Alvarez, the dice have chosen you.
I'm close. Why not?
I need a dexterity saving throw for you.
Okay. Hopefully I can make that. Oh, yeah. That's a dirty 20.
So you will take half. So your half, you take 15 points of lightning damage as he just blasts blast lightning at you.
That's pre-halved? Like
That is already half.
Or post-halved. Okay.
Post half.
Yeah, I'm down to 3 health, guys.
Oh, lovely.
So good thing you passed that saving throw.
Right. Hit him down.
Bramble, you're up.
All right. Crud. Trying to think what to do. There's nothing like hanging around his neck or anything like that I notice. Like
now, I mean,
amulet or
he's wearing like armor that's made of bone.
Okay. I'm trying to think where Alvrith was in all of this.
What is it that you're looking for?
Some sort of like special object that might be aiding in his persistent state of non-living. Or a phylactery, if you want to get blunt.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, nothing along those lines.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw Justin's comment, but that's pretty hilarious.
What? The catnip chicken and sauce of cream?
Sauce of cream if you burn it down.
I'm lactose intolerant, darling. So then, crud buckets. I think, Alvrith, you were closest to me because you hadn't moved too much. So then I will do Cure Wounds on you.
Please.
So you will get... Oh, come on. Come back here. That's
We'll
going
have
to be...
none of that.
Oh, for... Bah! Seriously? Takes it away?
Seriously.
Oh, god damn it.
Counterspell your Cure Wounds.
That bought 4. We're going to kill him.
You want a bonus action, Kitty?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of something.
Sure.
Crud, we're not all together. All right, part of me suddenly wants to release the thing that's in the cage upstairs. Oh. Yeah, I'm going to have Fire Kitty do what he can. Schnarf's gonna fire seed him. A flame seed, I should say. That's gonna be 16 to hit.
16 hits.
And 7 fire total. Yep. That's all I can do.
I mean, he's looking a little bit worse for wear.
Okay.
It's not on death's door. After Bramble is Omen.
Okay. So, Alvareth really not in good sorts right now. All right. So I have a moment where I'm like, I can either stab this guy again, or I can go and heal my friend. And like, I really, really want to go stab this guy again. I really do, but Alvareth. So I take a step back.
I'm not trying to, take narrative control here, but is that honestly what Omen would do?
Let me roll a bonobo die.
All right.
It's a moment for character development.
Oh God. Okay, no, she's not developing at all. She has spoken. I just nat one to that bonobo die. She's stabbing this guy again. I'm so
All right.
sorry. So sorry.
I don't mean to intervene.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
There is more, than what has already been revealed. So.
All right. So in that case, that's going to be 16 to hit.
That does.
All right. I'm not even going to roll the slashing because I'm pretty sure that's not going to do anything at all. And that's going to be 5 radiant.
Well, no, you're using the dagger, right?
Yeah.
So roll the dagger dice.
Okay. That'd be 6.
So 6 slashing and 5 radiant.
Yep.
So he hisses at you. After that, he did not like that. Several of the bones in his armor snap and come off. He definitely has a worried look on his face. Rarick.
There's I want to rage extra. I want to rage more.
I want to be more ragey.
Because I think just being in a rage and not really sure if it's doing anything, or maybe getting frustrated that it's not, I'm just going to keep attacking recklessly.
All right.
And that's a 22.
Yeah.
Max damage.
That does nothing.
And
your spell again.
I'm gonna shoulder into him again for 16.
And you take 6, so half the. No, your cold damage doesn't get half, so you take 6 cold damage.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm looking really bad. Like I'm coated in frost. I imagine it's just this frost and the wounds from earlier, and I'm breathing heavily, and I'm like, there's no matter what I do, I can't stop him.
So the frost begins kind of digging into the open wounds, causing them to open and bleed further. And every time that you smack into him, he's like standing there, allowing you to hit him with the axe, and it's just bouncing off. And then you come in from the with your shell, and again he just kind of stands there and lets it happen. And the cold coming off of him just just keeps crawling and growing. So at this point in time, it's mostly on your right side where you keep hitting him. So like your right shoulder is, crusted over, down your shell, it's down your arm, and every time you move, like the frost is still continuing to crawl, and you're trying to like break it off as you move, and it's kind of slowing you down. But you're so spitfire and angry that you're just pushing your way through, not really thinking about like you're not injuring him and you're damaging yourself at the same time. Alvarez, you're up.
Oh God, I'm muted too. You're muted.
Yeah, okay. So, Omen,
I'm like,
how are we doing health-wise?
what's going on here?
I'm like flipping through all my screens going, wait, did
What?
something happen? Did we lose?
Don't
No.
ask me how I'm doing health-wise. You're dying.
I don't care about that.
I have 9 hit points.
Oh
right.
God, I don't like this.
I don't like this either.
I'm gonna smile at the what I don't know what Alvarez thinks this thing is, but he's gonna look at it and smile and say, "This is gonna hurt a bit," and then he's gonna touch Omen, and you're gonna heal 6 hit points.
Oh God.
And it does hurt a bit because that's the kind of healing Alvarez likes to give.
So
I already feel so bad for not healing you because I'm not a hard bitch out of character.
all right, are you done thereafter?
Yeah. Last of my level 1 spell slots.
And you healed Omen, not yourself, correct?
I healed Omen, not
My
myself. Yep.
heart.
That's all I got.
All right, so Alvarez, you're at 3, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Rarick, how bad are you hurt?
Bad.
Bad?
I got 9 left.
9. So, the bone mason, as you heard the name whispered by the surgeon last session, looks out, and he's been fairly confident throughout this fight, but he's looking a little haggard after Omen's last splash, and that green energy that's dancing around his hands. He forms it into 4 little green orbs. He sends 1 at Alvarez, take 5 points of force damage. And he sends 3 over to Rarick. And exactly 9 points of force damage for you, sir.
All right.
So 2 of your companions fall over.
God, you guys had better hang in there.
Yeah.
I imagine
Well,
Rarick
see how it
falling
goes.
just like the undead did earlier. When these green things hit him, it's just like strings have been cut, and you hear Rarick fall to the ground at the same time you hear his heavy battle axe, great axe, clatter to the ground.
Go, Pyro Kitty, go.
Bramble, you're up.
Great. All right. So Snarf's gonna go first
Sure.
because hey, maybe.
Yeah.
Justin says he believes in the Pyro Kitty.
I do too, except he keeps taking my power. Oh, come on, Pyro Kitty. Okay, so Snarf does 17 hit.
17 does.
Okay, that's 6 points fire. That wasn't intentional. All right, I'm going to try once again do produce flame this time.
All right. So, Omen, are you attacking or are you healing?
I'm attacking.
All right. Roll your attack as well.
All right, so I go while she goes too?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So dirty 20.
All right. So then
Okay.
roll damage.
I've got a 15.
15 damage or 15 to hit?
15 to hit, and then I rolled the wrong damn thing. Hold on. That's not what I was supposed to be rolling. I need a D8. That's going to be, that's going to be 6 fire.
And,
So I've got 7 slashing and 5 radiant.
all right. So between the fire and the dagger, the creature stumbles back. You see the eyes begin to dim. The green energy that's swirling around fades. And even though you'd never seen a single breath drawn, you get this rattle of his raspy voice as he exhales, as it collapses to the ground, unmoving, still.
Yeah, I'm going over to the guys and I'm
All right,
doing.
well, death saves first.
Oh,
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets
Well,
one.
everybody.
I mean, the two that are on the ground. These are both.
I rolled a 12.
All right.
Roll a 10.
All right. So you guys
Yeah.
both pass. Following round, Bramble and Omen, what are you doing?
I am going to use. If I use my medicine on, use a medicine kit on him, will that help?
On who?
On either of them.
Well, pick one.
Alvarez. I just went alphabetically.
Omen, what do you do?
Yeah. All right, I get 1 hit point.
You are stable at 0.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That's right.
Omen, what do you do?
This guy doesn't look like he's getting back up.
No.
All right, then I'm going to Rarick. I'll get my hand after.
Do you what do you call it? Do you lay on hands?
Lay on hands.
How much do you give him?
Like the whole, I believe it's 15.
All right. So Rarick, you are at 15 hit points.
I proceed to hug the turtle, careful of the spikes.
Watch the spikes.
I was being careful.
So, do either Bramble or Omen have any spell power for healing left?
I have 1 spell slot left, so I could.
Same.
All right. So you're able to get Alvarez back on his feet.
Okay.
The bedroom beyond is a luxuriously appointed bed. This chamber is in a sad. What was once luxuriously appointed, but it's now in a sad state. The fine linens are torn and stained with mud. A painting of a man and woman holding a small child lies on the floor, the wooden frame shattered. A finely made axe and shield hang above the bed. Other than that, the room is, tattered and torn, stained.
Well, I'm going to take a seat and just catch my breath and see to my own wounds.
I'm harvesting a limb.
Alvarez, eat this. I give him a strawberry cream tort.
I was gonna say, do you still have those?
I've still
Yes.
after I give Alvarez one, I've still got 7 more.
Oh,
It's
dear
quite
God.
chilly.
Well,
Oh,
we
dear
know how
God.
much Alvarez likes food, so
Yep,
Mhm.
he's a happy camper. I'm going
Thank
to.
you.
So I assume you use the dagger
Mm-hmm.
to cut through the flesh, and it parts quite easily. The flesh seems to match, and you absolutely recognize the birthmark, though it wasn't glowing blue when it adorned your hand prior to it being
It's like-
removed.
Right there on like that part under the thumb.
But it's now it's there, but it's vibrant.
Good. I'm just gonna try to stick it back on.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
13.
So you just kind of, with the um, with the bone mason, no longer trying to control your hand, you just got, the ability to use your hand again. So you cut the
Mhm.
hand off and you affix it to the wrist, and when you paid the man to basically make you a new hand, you weren't certain what exactly was going to happen if you ever got your hand back. But as you put it to the wrist, the bones kind of like reshape themselves around, and the the flesh begins to knit. But at least for the time being, the skeletal hand kind of like rests as like armor above
Ooh.
above your hand, and the wiring that was kind of attaching it to you and attaching each of the bones to themselves, instead of attaching there, it like wraps around. It's almost like jewelry, but it's legitimately bone. Like, it's still a fix. Like, it's not something that you look like you could just take off.
Oh, I love it.
But it does not cover the blue mark on your thumb.
When I give Elverith the strawberry cream tort, I just unceremoniously step up onto the bed and walk to the shield and axe that are mounted above. They
So
look like they're
it's a sizable axe, almost the same size as the axe that you have on your back.
Does it look better than what I got?
I mean, it's definitely a fine quality. As you kind of heft it from its mount, it seems heavier, but as you pick it up, you hear like a child laugh as you take it off the wall.
Like out loud? I look around and see if anybody else heard that.
No,
Oh dear God.
nobody else reacted.
Oh dear God.
Alvarez is looking not as pale as he was before, but pretty rough. His attention's nowhere else aside from at not throwing up.
As you examine it, the same mark that the other items that you have acquired so far, the barely visible anvil and a bronze circle with the M
So
uh, is on the axe.
I just rolled a insight check, as I often do when I'm want to differentiate what I want to do versus the character, to see whether or not Rarick would think that this is a good thing or a bad thing. And I rolled a 4, so a 5. So he is going to keep this axe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so much so. I think looking at it, seeing that it's got this mark, it seems to be this high quality, and especially knowing it's something that the dwarves held in high regard. I think I would just take this new great axe and then I would drop the one I had. I only got room. I only got a place for one great axe.
All right.
I mean that literally. I only have a slot on my shelf for one. Not like there's only room in my heart for one great axe.
Not a great.
Well, kudos for not being the ridiculous person. Like, I've got all of these weapons, like my dwarf.
I mean, I do still have javelins and 2 hand axes, and claws and spikes, but let's 2 great axes is too far.
Yeah. All right. I'll see that. So we'll end it here, and we'll do some after session cleanup and see
God.
see some questions and what have you. But for those out there, thanks for watching again. This is brought to you by the wonderful people over at RPG Crate. And if you want to use material like this, I highly recommend you checking out the link down in the description. Use that promo code. Get the cool material. Get their new encounter cards. It's fantastic artwork. These things are sturdy quality, and it's got cool pictures that you can show your players, and you have all the stat block on the other side so they don't get to see. There's always dice or miniatures and gaming books, lots of cool stuff that happens, or that comes in the crate. And you've got these wonderful boxes that you can put on your shelf and keep all of your supplements and stuff in. I use them for all kinds of stuff, so definitely check them out. Use that promo code that's down in the description. And, you can say it with me, as I always do. Until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Hey, nerdy.